Yo, what's good, people? What's good, friends? Hello, friends. Hey, friends. Be sure to tickle my chin with your walrus whiskers. Welcome to the Cream Dream. The Cream Team. The Cream Team with the dream. Just gotta tweet this out. Into Twitterland. Almost thought there wasn't gonna be a stream tonight. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm always on that, just a weird schedule, you know? Where it's like, where you just are always living life in slow-mo. Mannequin of Chaos with the $5 right out the gate. Thank you, Mannequin. How's this going? It's going good. Honestly, I feel really good. I feel alive, man. I feel alive. Well, not man, sorry. Milady, I feel alive. I'm a poet tonight, and I barely even knew it. I'm a poet, and I didn't even knew it.
Hey, listen.
Silos with the 2 says, finally got to tune in to one of your lives. Well, welcome, Silos. Thank you for the 2. For those who are new and those just joining here, we're going to be doing some back to the basics, true scary stories from Reddit, from all the lovely authors at Reddit that have submitted their stories or given permission. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that as always. And yeah, basically at the bottom right of the screen you can see a countdown timer. That's till the when we will eventually begin reading. For the first 15 to 20 minutes or so, we just kind of chill out, let the chat roll in. They're rolling out of bed because they're nocturnal, I know it. Maybe some mods will arrive. Some people from Discord. Maybe grandma. My grandma will be ready. I can only hope. My grandma's listening to me right now, making a fool of myself. Jessa, you already donated your soul. No, I appreciate that. Those are the most worthy donations I can think of. Venus Flytrap with the 5. Aru says, I'm so ready. Well, thank you, Venus. And welcome. I'm ready too. I'm ready to pop off on some words. I promise not to take a turd on the floor. No gore. Oh, shut up. I just heard you swore. I'm telling Mom. Your video game privileges are gone. Don't stare too long in the sun. It ain't fun going blind. Unwind with me. Take your time with me. How come there's Discord but not Datcord? I know, we got Discord, Datcord. You know, we have to make up our mind which one we're going to be in. Maya with the 2 says, hello, Maya. Welcome.
Hey, listen.
She's beats, man. I just let the beats guide me, dude. Just let them take me wherever they go, you know? It's like an adventure. It's like following the white rabbit down the dark brown hole. Does Asherella. Oh, first off, Mr. Nuggets with the 5 Aussie bucks. Thank you. Says, hey, Let's Read, been a huge fan for a while. Fell asleep to your videos nearly every night. Hope to catch more streams. Thank you, Mr. Nuggets. Well, welcome. Glad you can be here. Sorry for starting so late, everybody. Asherella asked, do your parents or any of your family ever watch your videos or come to the stream? You know, I don't think they outright watch it. But, you know, whenever I would share my videos on Facebook more frequently, my mom said she was like, I always, you know, click like and share it out. And I'm like, thank you, Mommy. Thank you, Mommy. I love you. Thank you for giving birth to me and
listen.
giving me milkies and allowances. Spady says, ah, heck, here we go again. That's actually funny. I was thinking of, that's actually really weird you said that, because I was thinking about, like, sometimes streamers, like, title stuff, and right before I came in here, I was thinking, like, what should I title the stream? Normally it's just, like, reading true scary stories, but some streamers, like, title it something just random every time, and I was thinking it'd be funny to say, like, oh, shoot, here we go again. Estrella Lovely with the 3. How's it going? It's going amazingly now that you guys are in my midst. Amidst me. Amidst me. Emidst me. Evelyn Thompson with the 3 says, was waiting for this. Well, welcome. Your patience has paid off. See a lot of green names tonight. It's really nice to see you guys. Good to see the members in the hood. You would donate $5 billion if you had it. That would... What happens if someone donated $5 billion? What would be my motivation? What would you guys... At that point, if someone donated, like, so much money that I, like, wouldn't even need to... What would I do? Would I keep making videos? Or would I just, like, read whatever the fuck you guys wanted me to read for the rest of time? If money was no longer an issue. Jose Flores with the 5 says, here's something for sick rapping skills. Thank you, Jose. I'm getting better. Every time I'm on stream, I'm training, I'm moving up. I'm sipping on my cup. I'm petting the pup. They call me a slup. I don't know what that means. All I know is I get that greens. Big old peens. Joel, is your butt feeling okay from last video content? Wait, what happened to my butt last time? I don't recall. I was with, unless I was raging out or something like that. Also, hello to the Joel Party Squad with Alec. Hello to you guys. What's the drinking game tonight? You love your mom, she's amazing, but I'm not friends with her on social media, and I don't let her watch my videos. They aren't bad, but I don't want my mom to hear me drop F-bombs. Now I feel that. It definitely, it's awkward, you know? And I actually, not out of disrespect or anything, but I actually avoid my mother on Facebook as well. I just, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but, like, the boomer generation... and by that I just mean, like, your parents, no matter what age you are, is never going to quite understand things the way that you understand them. You know, it's just an innate aspect. If you're a parent right now and you just can't, you know, your parents say, man, mom and dad, you just don't understand. Like, that's just how it is. And we just got to get used to that. But when it comes to Facebook and social media, my parents, you know, once they were on Facebook, I was like, oh, it's over. Facebook is done, dude. Because I started listening to my grandmother, my father's mother, talk one time, and she was just talking some trash on the fact that a relative was airing out all their dirty laundry on Facebook and how embarrassing it was and blah 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 blah. And I totally agree with her, for sure. It's embarrassing, it is what it is, but there's a huge difference between the person that posts something on social media and the person you hug and kiss and high five and play volleyball with IRL. You know what I mean? And I just feel as if, though, it's good to avoid parental and familial units on social media because they weigh your posts, I think, to a higher degree. Like, they just hold it to, like, some sort of standard that is just beyond what it should be held to. You know what I mean? Hey, Sydney with the 10 says, I've not had the greatest day, but getting to listening to your voice has made my night better. So thank you, Sydney. Welcome. And Mr. Nuggets, my friend, has become a full-grown pizza and a member of the Buttersock cult. Everybody welcome Mr. Nuggets here. Hello. Welcome to the cult. Shady Highly 301 with the 2 says, bring that Australian cutie back for a collab, please. Yeah, B-Bus says he's got the tones. How beautiful was his voice? I was very thankful that he was able to lend his skills for the last video, especially for the topic that we hit, specific to Aussie land. I hope you guys like that video. I had a good time recording it. Even better time spending it with Mr. B-Buster. Also, guys, click that like button if you haven't already. Looks like we're almost at 300 people. Oh, we still got 7 minutes to chat here. That's time's not flying by as fast as I thought it was. But yeah, click that like button. Share this out on Instaslam, Twitter, Fartbook, wherever you're at. Whatever the big ones are. I guess no longer TikTok. But you know how it goes. Hannah Easton with the 5 says, good evening. Hope your day was nice so far. It was. Thank you, Hannah. And Sugar Mills with a big 10 buckaroos says, I won't be able to stay long because I have to get up early for work, but I thought I would stop by. Well, thank you, Sugar. Sugar, sugar. Sugary sugar. You busted a nut listening to B-Busta. That's good. That's all we can hope for these days. Lila says, why doesn't Pradeep have a tattoo? Geez, we get on it. He might. He might even have one underneath all of his midnight black hair. I would never even notice. Oh, Gothic Rose had her baby. Nice. Well, congratulations to her, guys. She's always in here at all times. And I've always appreciated her modsmanship. And I really hope everything's going well with her baby. So if you guys see her on Twitter or wherever you're at, just wish her, give her some well wishes for the baby, and I, hope everything's going okay with that. What are the perks of being a member? Good question, Mr. Nuggets. Well, one, you're part of the cult. Just the sheer fact that your name is green and you got a little cutesy emote next to you that continues to advance the further you're along is just one of the greatest privileges, I would say, that one could ever hope to accomplish. But and as far as tangible reality, objective things, I think it's just supporting the channel in a manner in which where sometimes ad revenue is not necessarily the most reliable. But I've been thinking of making it so members have access. Oh, you know what? I just got to do it. After you asking that, I just got to do it. I got to make a new tier on Patreon. That'll be, if anybody donates 5 or more, they'll get access to a free additional creepypasta a month. And I think I want to do that for members too, where what I'll do is I'll post a community tab post, and it'll be for members only, because I believe the tier is very similar, where it's like $5 a month or something like that. And then you guys will have access to an unlisted members only video specifically for you. But the question is, what Jeffrey Epstein type beat? Hell yeah, dude. It's a beat to not end your life to. But yeah, the question is, what creepypasta would you guys want? And then at what time of the month would you guys like me to synchronize a new, maybe like first of the month, new, first or last of the month, new creepypasta uploads? Why is the show starting early? Cut. I don't really know. I think did I miss something? I feel like I was talking about something and I completely got sidetracked. Anyone reading any books right now? I currently am, just kind of like casually before I go to bed. I've been just talked about this last time, but reading. I can't believe it's not Butter Cult. Yeah, can't believe it's not Butter Socks Cult. That's pretty much everybody else on planet Earth at this point. I always get sidetracked. I know. There's like 100 different things going on my screen. Well, not really, just a chat constantly flowing through. Synchronize it with my monthly period. I could try with the full moon. I think we should get it. You're reading about trees. Do I ever do gaming streams? I did when I first started, but like not a lot of people showed up to it. Like it was like on average there would probably be like 40 people there, you know what I mean? Whereas this this one, we can get upwards of like 1,000. And I'm not saying that that's not possible with gaming, but the nice thing about reading on here and doing the reading streams is I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone, where I'm getting my recordings done, but I'm also interacting with you guys. Whereas with the gaming kind of stuff, honestly, I'm not like a good gamer. You know what I mean? Like on Overwatch, I place like 2,700 on tank, which is like, plat, which is average. I rage pretty hard, which can be funny, but it's also, but I think it can also be pretty cringy too, at least in my opinion. I mean, I wouldn't mind going through some like single player horror games or something like that we can chat with, but also my internet, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's also like not the most reliable. That if I actually had to reliably transmit consistent frame rate to you guys, and it was something beyond the complexities of just sending out audio, it would be precarious to say the least. Haven't we been getting like 1,200 lately? It depends, like the max last time was 600. I think it just depends on like people's vibes, and like I don't know what YouTube, like how YouTube decides that kind of thing. I should play RL Craft. What's RL Craft? Is that Minecraft? You broke a game console once. Very cringe. Very, very cringe. Yeah, that's one of those things where you kind of look back upon it and hold your head in shame, but I'm not going to judge you for it. My gaming anxieties and frustrations stem. It's weird. It's strange how like games kind of turn people into something else, And I realize half the time that I'm like mad in Overwatch is just because my skills don't feel like I don't feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that you're relying on your team, and if they're not like flowing with you, if you're not like this cohesive blob of damage output and healing and blah 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 blah, blah and space control and yada yada, you feel helpless, So there's a lot of sense of like helplessness in that. Though I did play Call of Duty with my buddy yesterday, and I went 21-1. But the thing is that it was like, it was like a big team battle type scenario, and it was just a death match. And basically, I just had this whatever the fuck the sniper rifle was that I got off a dead guy, and it had a fucking thermal scope on it. So like people would just be rolling down street alleys and shit, and I could just peek out, pop them once. Like the ballistics in that game are not very hard compared to like PUBG or something like that, and it's a little bit of a joke, you know what I mean? Call of Duty it can be fun, but it's not always my favorite. Joel is my wife's boyfriend's favorite. Oh, nice. Tell your wife's boyfriend to get you a Nintendo Switch with some Let's Read art on the side. All right, my friends. Shall we kick this off? I think we're actually at a good starting point here. Almost 400 folks in the chat. Some good stories lined up for you, some good vibes. We're going to be switching over to Robin Mikalsen's amazing artwork here to hang in the background. So, what's my age? It is the dirty 30. 3-0. I'm officially in the realm of the elderly. Just kidding. I know that would piss some people off saying that. But no, I feel good. I feel healthy. I feel vibing. I feel vibrant. I feel like a labyrinth of vibrance. Oh, well. Guys, yeah, click that like button if you haven't already. Share this out. We're going to get this kicked off. And also, as always, if you have a story that you want to submit, go to reddit.com/r/let's-read-official. That's my official subreddit. And you're going to want to type it all up in there. Get some nice grammar, get some nice syntax, get a good title going. Do your bestest. And I guarantee you probably will make it onto a subscriber story video or any of the various topic videos that we do. And then there's also the option, in case you're just not feeling the Reddit, though it's very easy to create an account, you can submit to letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com. You have a feeling Joel has an old soul? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I never really understood what that meant, but I've always felt it, I suppose. Had a relatively empathic sensation of other people's perspectives, and I always feel like I can pretty much relate pretty well with whatever generation I'm put in front of, whether I'm talking to a little kid, because I've been there, I've been a little kid, I've been frustrated at the fact that my mom's talking to some other mom for, a half hour, which can feel like 3 hours to a kid while you're waiting in Walmart, stuck in the cart, just laying there like a cat, limp, or talking to an old person and just reflecting on foxholes and and tear gas. I don't really know what old people talk about, but you get the idea. Poop in your pants, things like that. Friendship. But guys, we're gonna also switch the vibe up, though I don't want to, in the sense that I don't want to give up this groovy beat. But I'm gonna switch over to Iron Cthulhu Apocalypse and all his amazing talent. This one's called Dark Ambient Hour Ancestral Nightmares. If you enjoy the background music on some of these songs, be sure to subscribe to Iron Cthulhu Apocalypse. Apocalypse. A pack of lips. Because he is always pumping them out. And we got a few epic stories here tonight, so definitely hold on. Well, 7 stories in total. This is story 1. Let me find my lip lube. Lippy lube. I need to get sponsored by this aquifer eventually. If there's anybody that's had more experience with lip lube using aquifer, it's me. My favorite genre of music. It'll be one of them will be at the end of the stream here. I always use as an outro. Peaks GA 1994 by Kettle. I just really enjoy like the sort of ambient, but like almost like ambient beats. Some people call it IDM, intelligent dance music, if that makes sense. Just stuff that makes me think. Lils with a 5. Thank you, Lils, and welcome. It's good to see you. What's popping? What's popping? Flex lube. All right. This is my first post, and although this happened back in December 2019, I still think about it on a daily basis because it was unlike anything I had ever experienced before. I hope it offers some sort of enlightenment on what to do, not to do, if you find yourself in a similar situation. Back in early December, I had ventured out to do a bit of late-night shopping. I'm a 31-year-old stay-at-home mother of 2 young children, so once my husband got home from work, I like to take some time to myself and go shopping, take a drive, or run errands, kid-free. It was around 8:30 p.m. when I arrived at the Target. Sorry, I don't know why I said the old Target. Anybody like to go to Target? Target. It was around 8:30 p.m. when I arrived at the Target. It was around 8:30 p.m. when I arrived at the Target that I frequent. I'm by no means a paranoid or anxious individual, but I have attended several seminars in college on human trafficking and have done plenty of research on my own learning to identify red flags and what precautions to take when out in public alone, especially at night. I carry several self-defense items on my person at all times. Sorry, what the fuck is this? A kabootin? Kabutton? The fuck is a kabutton? Let me look this up. I'm always learning something, man. It looks like a butt plug, kind of. What the hell? Kabutton? I always carry nunchucks on me at all times, just in case. And a butt plug. A booty binky. Let's see. No, not defense. Definition. Shit. Sorry, I gotta hear how this is said and pronounced. Oh, they don't even have it in the dictionary. This word's not even in the dictionary. Kobaton? Is it like a Kobaton? Anybody have one of these? Joel Embiid, yeah. We both do like Dragon Ball Z. His Bluetooth butt plug. How the hell do you say this word? Let's see. Videos. Alright. Sometimes you just gotta listen to somebody else say it. Okay, we went to an entire different website. Sorry. What's up, guys? We're here to tell you some butt plug defense mechanisms. Well, eventually.
Hi, I'm Eddie from PrepareAndSurviveExpo.com. I got a couple questions in email about striking points with the Kubaton from our last video.
Kubaton. Boom. And if you need, guys, there is a video by Ninja School that teaches you how to use a Kubaton. Looks like it goes right on your keys, which is kind of sick. Anybody got a Kubaton? I carry several self-defense items on my person at all times. A Kubaton, alarm, and universal handcuff key, just in case. I parked directly in front of the store, next to a cart caddy, and took a mental note of the vehicles parked nearby again, just as a precaution. I was taught at an early age to always be observant of your surroundings, and being a control freak just naturally makes you that way. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary that night, and the parking lot was actually quite empty, most likely because it was a weekday. As I entered the store, I began browsing like usual, following the natural flow of the store departments, following the main aisle around. I had been browsing for only 10 to 15 minutes when I noticed a young gentleman, mid-20s maybe. He was tall, skinny, dressed in a dirty gray two-piece sweatsuit and brown work boots. He looked over at me, smiled and said hello, but his facial expression was blank. He looked like he may have been high on something by the look in his eyes, but he didn't seem to care for my gesture, and he quickly moved on. At first glance, there was nothing in particular that alarmed me about him, except I took notice at the fact that he was just wandering down the main aisle with no cart or basket, hands in his pockets, and didn't seem to be with anyone. I continued shopping with no second thoughts, and made my way to the next apartment. Sorry, my face was like... I think I got like Pradeep's fur like crawling up my face at all times. Maya B with the 10 buckaroonie says, I'm gonna get going, love you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your night. Thank you, Maya. Thanks for always stopping by. I appreciate that. Hope you sleep well. Taking over for Alex. Thank you, Winner. Or wait. Oh, that was Deb. Where is Alex? What's he doing? He's head mod. He's head of the moderators. Maybe they're having a mod meeting. They're looking to usurp me. They will speak as one voice. I continued shopping with no second thoughts and made my way to the next apartment. Several minutes had passed, and that's when I noticed a second young gentleman wearing the same gray suit and similar pair of work boots. Again, no cart, no basket. He too glanced at me, then quickly darted his eyes away when he realized I was looking directly at him. I became a bit more alerted, but still remained composed and continued on browsing. Another 15 minutes or so passed, and that's when a third older man caught my attention. And you guessed it, same gray suit and work boots with no cart, no basket, just his hands in his pockets. I assumed they were in some sort of work uniform, maybe construction workers, but why weren't they walking around together? And why didn't they? Sorry. Casey Dobbins with the 5 said you should get on influence.co if you want more sponsorships. We use it for our influencers for marketing purposes. Oh, interesting. I remember for a while, like, YouTube had this sort of thing within, like, your browsing area where you could apply to be part of, I forget what the website was, but basically they would, you would apply and then they would get you hooked up with advertisers as they saw fit. But for some reason, my channel never, or like they never got back to me. It just says like, we'll get back to you. Oh, 500 people. Nice. Hello, 500 people. I'll have to say hello 500 times. Each individual. I'll shake all of your hands and then lick my hand. Peter Leongi, W. Peter Leongi. I can't even pronounce that name. It's too hard to say. What size brow are you? Oh shit, that's a good question. Yeah, Jensen's got Alex chained up somewhere. I assumed they were in some sort of work uniform, maybe construction workers, but why weren't they walking around together? And why didn't they have any items to purchase? At this point, it was difficult to focus on browsing. I had a bad feeling about these 3 men, and it became clear that something was a bit off. Over the next 20 minutes or so, I felt as if though I was being monitored by the 3 of them, as if they were all communicating my whereabouts as I continued to make my way through the store, because each department I entered, it didn't take long for me to notice one of the 3 men pass by whatever side aisle I happened to be in, making their presence known to me. I stayed completely vigilant while trying not to panic or allow my suspicions to overwhelm me. Something about their presence felt very heavy and dark, so I decided to test their intentions, to prove I wasn't overthinking the situation and my bad gut feeling was valid. I began picking random aisles and traveling back and forth between departments in a very unorganized and random fashion to see if the men would continue to pass by me as frequently as they had been. With every aisle I popped into, it was just a few minutes later one of them would make an appearance, staring me down as they passed by. It felt as if though I was being surrounded like a wild animal. Hunted, even. They were no longer trying to be conspicuous, which was the scariest part of all. And wait. I think she meant to say inconspicuous. Right? Be inconspicuous. Yeah. Wait. Very inconspicuous. I gotta look this up. Standing out so as to be clearly visible is conspicuous, and inconspicuous is the opposite. They were no longer trying to be conspicuous, and everything instinctual was screaming at me. Oh wait. With every eye I popped, it was just a few minutes later one of them make an appearance, staring me down as they passed. Okay, yeah, so she meant to say inconspicuous. Sorry. Really got to reason through that in my head, huh? Mr. Haunted with the 3, hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. What's up, my dude? They were no longer trying to be inconspicuous, which was the scariest part of it all, and everything instinctual was screaming at me to get out of there. I gripped my cart so tightly, and I figured if they got too close, I could use the cart to push them away, or at least create distance between us. By this point, I had been shopping for about an hour altogether, maybe a bit over, and was ready to purchase my items, but honestly, I felt too uncomfortable to continue browsing even if I wanted to. The men had been following me all that time, and I was becoming more annoyed, if anything. The store was pretty empty. The store was pretty empty around this time, one of the main reasons I like shopping at night, but that made this particular situation even more unsettling. Two preteen girls were wandering around by themselves, which quickly caught my attention because the men had bypassed them, making similar advances, but the girls were seemingly oblivious. So I quietly got their attention and asked them to go find their parents and stay with them, trying not to freak them out. The mother in me was on full protection mode. I couldn't imagine having my young children with me on this night. Thank God they were home safe and sound. As I made my way to the checkout, I noticed one of the men coming up from behind me, walking at a quicker pace this time, so I immediately stopped and turned to lock eyes with him as he approached. I will never forget the darkness in his eyes. An eerie smirk formed on his face as he nudged my shoulder, continuing to stare me down, walking backwards to hold his sinister gaze as he exited out of the store. I had lost sight of the other two men, and I hated the uncertainty of it all.
Listen.
He made his message clear in that very moment. My stomach dropped and my entire body began to shake, and it was a feeling I hadn't felt since I was a kid getting lost in the supermarket, a feeling of desperation. I quickly walked to the checkout, discreetly asked the cashier if I could speak to a manager, and told them what had transpired over the last hour, politely asking them for a male employee to walk me to my car and for them to alert their security team member. When I told the manager what happened, her face sunk as if she had already known about these men, and once I described them, she confirmed she knew who I was talking about. She expressed that several of the female employees had found the men unsettling in the past, and assured me that someone would escort me to my car. She made a report about the incident and said that she would alert the authorities. I was still shaking, but felt relieved that she believed me and showed concern for the other young female patrons in the store. She took my information, then a young male employee walked me out to my car. What I saw as I exited the store made me so sick to my stomach, solidifying all of my suspicions. A white, windowless van was parked in the lot directly behind my car, about a 3 parking space distance between us. One of the men seated in the driver's seat and the other two leaning against the side of the van facing my car, attempting to hide out of view. I mean, how cliche and obvious can you be? Your license plate might well... Ron with the 2 says, "Hello, friend." Hello, Ron. Thank you for the 2. Good to see you. And welcome. Willie, thank you. Yeah, you never know. I mean, the weird thing about, like, the whole, like, human trafficking thing is that it's, like, pretty fucking rampant throughout, like, pretty much everywhere you go in the world. I'm not saying that, like, it's something that, like, you always have to be, like, worried about or something of that nature. But it's, like, the fact that it's, you know, I'm sure some of you guys have stumbled across the fact that, like, a lot of, like, human trafficking, sex trafficking is, like, interconnected and interwoven with individuals at, like, very high positions of power. And that's what's so scary about it, is that, you know, you would think that human trafficking would be, like, the number one thing, you know, that the news would create as a, like, a large crisis because of the prevalency of it, I suppose. Or it would be one of those things that they really try to hone in on with authorities, but then you start to ponder the sort of connections that occur there and stuff. But it's strange to think that, like, yeah, there's this network of human trafficking that can exist right in front of your eyes, and you have no idea that it's even occurring, and you do really got to be careful out there. Meme King, hello. I mean, how cliche and obvious can you be? Your license plate might as well have read Lady Snatchers at that point. Whatever their intent, it didn't seem pure. I pointed them out to the male employee and said, "There they are," which then prompted the men to scurry into their van and speed out of the parking lot without hesitation. I truly don't know what would have happened if I walked out to my car alone, and I'm so freaking grateful I made it home safe and sound and lived to tell the story. Over the following week, I had heard that there were several abduction attempts in the shopping center parallel to that target, and I'm almost certain it was the same individuals. Shits. Excuse me, Joel, but I need to speak to your manager. Take me to Pradeep. Where is he? He's probably in the back doing paperwork somewhere. I'm not even sure anymore. Taking a poop in a box, probably. Follow at Horny Computer. That's true. If you guys like memes and you like to laugh, please follow my meme account on Instagram called at Horny Computer. The at is just the at sign for Instagram for any boomers out there. And prepare yourself for 1 or 2 giggles upon visiting, I hope.
Hey, listen.
Jenna, with a 20 beaver bucks, says hello from Vancouver. Awesome channel and love listening to your sexy voice. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you for the 20. I appreciate that. Whoa, Cherry 5 is a content creator. It looks like, oh boy, Target abduction stories. Cherry, have you been in the stream before? Because I like, maybe I have old timers, but my brain does not recall seeing you in the chat before. And if so, what content do you create? I always love it when I see like random other checkmarked individuals existing within the chat. And just Ashley B says Horny Computer is where it's at. That's true. I would say probably the #1 best meme page on all of Insta. We're on the road to 1,000 followers. On the road again. Do on the road again. Do I have any water? Water, H2O. Gatorade. You know, I was thinking, I wonder if, like, in the Waterboy movie, how much Gatorade had to pay that movie, or, you know, the producers or whatever, to get their name in the movie. Because the movie was like, H2O is Gatorade. Cherry says, I have not, but I'm a big fan of yours, dude. There's a project I have in the works that I'd like to commission your sexy voice for. Hell yeah. That sounds amazing. I honestly, I love working with other creators, doing collabs. So you do video game stuff mostly. Fellow voice actor though. Shit, that's awesome. What kind of voice acting do you do? Do you do it like just for your own channel, or do you do it for you know, one of them their anime cartoon company situations? Which has always been a dream of mine. I don't know how I'd make it happen, but I've told you guys this a million times. I've always really, really wanted to be a voice on a cartoon or anime or movie or literally anything. I think I could be the next big star. On the road again. Reading creepy stories, sucking on toes again. Okay, sorry, just reading chat, but I shall move on here. Why I don't go to stores late at night? Oh, quite similar. How about a game? Oh yeah, video game. How did I completely... What the hell? How did I literally completely forget about wanting to be in video game? Like said all about movies and animes and stuff like that, and I like completely spaced on the idea of a video game. Yeah, literally being part of anything like that would just like get my rocks off real quick. Oh my god, there's Alex E says toe sucking is prohibited in the chat. Jeez. Those are some stringent rules, senpai. And Cherry says, also got to get yourself one of them their agents for that partner. Oh, hold on, let me just twerk real quick. Holy shit, Mediocre Bit with a $50 donation. Big one of the night here says, roses are red, violets are blue. I have a knife. Get in the van. That should be in a fucking movie. Holy shit, that'd be amazing. If, I don't know, maybe it could be comedic, or like hearing like literally Ted Bundy say that before he forces you into his world. But Cherry says, also got to get yourself one of them their agents. Dude, that's what people been saying, and I'm like, How do you even... Whoa. Again. Oh. Yeah. One after another. Holy shizzers. Nicole Valentine with the $50 donation. One after another. Chillo. Love your quality content. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you guys. Holy shit. This is just one of them nights, baby. People were just popping off. Thank you guys. Holy shizzer blizzard. I just took a shizzer in someone's blizzard. That'd be funny if like someone handed you a blizzard and they like flipped it over, but it was like full of diarrhea or something like that. Here you go. It's my last day. But yeah, Cherry, I definitely, first off, once again, thank you guys so much for that. Really appreciate it. And as far as like the agent situation goes, like that sounds amazing. I have no idea how I'd go about that. You're probably familiar with all of these sort of like networks that exist within all of the networks that exist within YouTube that are essentially, in my opinion, in my humble YouTuber boy opinion, 30-year-old boy, I would say that most of the networks that exist on YouTube are like huge scams that just try to like essentially leech off of you, which really blows. But because I remember I was joined with one, and honestly I don't even know if I can say which one it was because of contract bullshit, you know how it goes. And honestly, like the only reason I joined is because one of the things that they said was that they could like, you know, they were going to go out of their way to get, you know, advertisement or, you know, sponsorships. They were going to go out of their way to find you know, like voice acting work and things of that nature. So I legitimately actually thought I signed with a solid thing at the time, and thankfully I'm out of it now, but it was not a good idea, and I don't suggest anyone jump into a network on YouTube. But if there was an agent that I could get involved with that like made money every time they made me money, that would make a lot more sense to me, because anytime anybody says that they can take like a percentage off of what you're just making baseline while not like guaranteeing they can promise you something in return, that's usually a bad deal. But that's unrelated to the agent situation, but just kind of related. MCNs, oh yeah, agents, not too sure. I know a guy, but he's not an official agent, but he knows a bunch of people. Yeah, shit. Well, let me know about that video game. I'm definitely down to join in with the fun. You just DM me on wherever, really, Instagram and Twitter, which gives me an opportunity to shout out the Twitter, which is at Let's Read Creepy, and Instagram at Let's Read.official. If you guys want to follow me on there, you can keep up to date whenever YouTube doesn't always let you know when new videos are coming out. Sometimes with the notification bell is a little unreliable sometimes. And Clara Jane May with the 5 says, I just had a terrifying nightmare. The worst part, dogs didn't exist. That sounds like the gosh dang apocalypse right there. Honestly, dogs are just, oh my god, they're so cool, man. I do love cats, and I appreciate them. I didn't appreciate them as much before I had Pradeep. I gave birth to Pradeep. But, man, dogs are just one of those things, you know? They are a man's best friend. It's fucking God's gift to humans. Just fucking mwah, chef's kiss, a dog. Joel, that is a thing. There used to be a trend where people would take, like, margarine tubs, remove the margarine, and fill it with poo-poo, cover the top with a layer of margarine. Ew, I don't remember this. I do not recall that thing, that trend. Was that a TikTok thing, along with, like, eating laundry detergent or some shit and licking toilets? I'm gonna have to get on top of that, actually. It sounds kind of yummy. I remember, yeah, whenever I used to watch Conan O'Brien a lot late at night. I actually used to watch it like religiously. I thought he was really funny. I don't really watch him anymore. I don't know if it's changed much. A lot of late night comedy talk shows aren't really funny to me anymore. But like Conan O'Brien, somebody like shared a tweet on Conan O'Brien, and it was like, dogs rule. Cats rule too, or something. It was just like such a perfect, just the perfect tweet. 10 out of 10 tweet. 100 out of 100. Also, I'm talking quite a bit now to you guys just for a little bit because my roommate is showering. And if I hit record, I do believe if I hit record, it will pick up the background noise, and you guys might not be able to hear it, but the microphone that I'm using to record into burps. Meme King, follow me on Twitter. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the follow. Gotta get them social numbers up, baby. If I were to ever become some sort of... never mind. I was gonna say, like, if you ever... those people that... You know the people that I respect in Hollywood? The ones that just don't talk. You know what I mean? Like the ones that just... They do their job, they act, and that's it. They just do their you know, whether they're a voice actor, whether they're a normal actor, you know, they pretend to be other people, and that's that. They're nice to people when they see them in public, and boom shakalaka. They, you know, they have a family, and they love them. Easy, you know, they do their job. You know, a lot of them, like, they get very, like, in your face with stuff, as if though the fact that they're actors somehow constitutes some sort of respecting of their intelligence. And sure, it can be to a degree, but it certainly doesn't like earn any merit in my mind whenever you're going from acting to opinions, you know what I mean? Adam Sandler, Longest P. Oh yeah. Wait, when did he do that? I remember in Austin Powers, great movie, they had like a full-on pee scene, and he had to like just keep... Oh yeah, it was whenever he got out of the cryo chamber, he was letting out that long pee. You can hear it a little bit. Yeah, it might be the creepy noise. Should make a Danny DeVito shrine. You could. You might be able to get your... Just make a clone of Danny. Large sombrero videos and streams are great when you draw. Nice. Nice. Wait, what's that? Nice. Who knows that guy? Nice. Eloquent Tiger, that's true. Why can't they? And they don't have to be. I just don't give a fuck about what they have to say. Just in the same fashion, I would hope that no one... I mean, you like... I say a lot of cray-cray. Evacuation come... Oh my god, yeah. Evacuation come... Evacuation complete... That's like the best scene. Yeah, how's Keanu Reeves doing? Is he still God's gift to the earth? You know what's really funny about Keanu Reeves as far as like the narrative of everyone like loving Keanu Reeves and him being like the Jesus Christ of the internet, is that like, do you guys remember Sad Keanu? Do you recall Sad Keanu? It was a meme years ago where he was on a bench and he was very sad. I don't know exactly what he was sad about. I think he's been through a lot. But it was almost as if though people were making fun of him. You know what I mean? Now, if you were to do that, that would be sacrilegious on Reddit. You know what I mean? And, but back in the day, like, people used to kind of, like, make large poking jabs at Keanu's acting abilities, you know, because he only really talks like this. You're kidding me. Whoa. Whoa. No way. That's crazy. You're kidding me. Whoa. Morpheus. You know, like I obviously love him in John Wick, but you know, John Wick in my opinion wasn't like the most like demanding, you know, range as far as like acting goes. Not to say that I could, but I'm just saying is that though he is a great man, there was a period of time in which people didn't think he was so fantastic. So I just always find it interesting, like when you start to see these sort of like curated events within your meme circles, your media circles and stuff, and you start to kind of wonder like, is there like something operating in the background, like curating a lot of like certain narratives, you know what I mean, to make people perceive individuals in a more positive light, almost like raise them up in almost like a borderline martyr sense? Do you want the red pill or the blue pill? The first Matrix was the shit, though, man. And man, young. You know what's also interesting is like I've always been curious, like in some of the John Wick movies, Keanu when he's like running around. I know he's old now, you know, looks great, but I know he's old. But he always like kind of looks like he's running with a bit of a limp. Do you guys notice that at all? Even and I saw these like the Bill and Ted's, like I don't know how well the Bill and Ted's movie is going to do per se, but even in that one I can kind of tell he has a bit of a limp, and I'm like, shit, poor Keanu, man. He needs some robot legs, man. All right, guys, shower is done. I'm done rambling, talking about celebs. hotsexycelebs.com .cream. Lubed up the lips, ready to go again. What is the other pill was poison. You leave the Matrix. Yeah, well, let me read that. Let's read that. You take the blue pill quote. I just want to read the quote, and I want to try to sound like Morpheus real quick. I wonder if they have it. In the Matrix, do they? Oh, it just explains it, but I want the quote. Where's the quote? Why is it like I have to bring up? Oh wait, okay. Blue. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Whoa, dude. Oh, it's fucking Morpheus for a second. Fuck, dude, that's sick. This happened when I was a bartender about 4 years ago, but I think about it often and have changed the way I operate throughout life. I now refuse to go to any store alone after midnight. For the story's sake, I will tell you that I was 25 and an attractive, slender blonde at the time. Oh god, I always love whenever like the the person in the story like says that they're attractive, because I know how much it like pisses off the yeah, Fry, you should just take the Viagra pill, which is a blue pill, I believe. A little blue pill. But like whenever people say, I will tell you, I will listen, all you plebs out there on Redditville, I will tell you that I was 25 and an attractive, slender blonde at the time. Now I'm a 40-year-old, bald, fat man eating a bag of potato chips. Things change. But I actually don't think I'll include her saying that, because I know how. Actually, you know what? Just to generate comments in the fucking comment section, I'm gonna say it. Fuck it, dude. Sometimes you gotta piss people off, right? Now I refuse to go to any store alone after midnight. For the story's sake, I will tell you that I was 25 and an attractive, slender blonde at the time. On a busy Friday night, I was bartending with the bar manager, and he had noticed that we were very low on some bar necessities after the dinner rush. Lemons, limes, bitters, that kind of thing. So I was sent out to go to a 24-hour grocery store down the road to pick up the odds and ends that would require to get us through the weekend. I picked up everything that was asked of me without trouble at the store, until I got to the liquor aisle. There were two country-looking guys that were probably around my age in the aisle, and they were staring at me and whispering to each other in a way that made me feel uncomfortable, as I assumed that they were making comments about me. All pretty innocent so far. Before they could approach me, I grabbed what I needed very quickly and power walked to the self-checkout. I really booked it out of there because when you're a bartender, it's kind of like you're on stage and are required to becoming fuck. That is funny, about the whole stage thing, because that's what my buddy says, who works at a bar. He says when people are drunk and they're staring at you, you're kind of like performing for them. Now, as this story starts out, I'm a 6'3" handsome man with a gigantic member. She changed her story. What the fuck? I really booked it out of there because when you're a bartender, it's kind of like you're on stage and are required to be charming and interact with people that you would otherwise absolutely wouldn't be able to tolerate unless you're getting paid. Thus, why I'm not a bartender anymore. I get to the self-checkout, and hot on my tail are the two guys. I'm scanning my stuff, and they use the scanning station next to me. I get a better look at them now that they are right next to me. One is taller, muscular, and average-looking. The other is shorter and more plump. They both looked dirty, and their eyes were completely bloodshot. Not sure if they were high on something or already had been drinking for a while. They continued to stare at me, and our eyes awkwardly met, so I did the pleasant, Midwestern-y thing to do and flashed them a quick, half-closed-lipped smile to be polite. The taller one started trying to talk to me. "Hey, looks like you're ready to party, huh?" I replied with something like, "Yeah, something like that. It's not for me, though." They walked closer to me and ignored their responsibility to scan their items. Must be your... fuck. Sorry. Must be for your boyfriend, huh? I flashed that awkward, tight-lipped smile again and roll my eyes slightly, like this is your hint that I'm not interested, fellas. The taller one continues to try to talk to me. "You could come hang out with us tonight. We could show you a real good time if you know what I mean." I reply with, "No thanks, I'm good. I got plans already." Well, the tall one starts to get upset that his moves aren't working like he'd hoped and starts using a more threatening tone and moves very close to me, like 2 inches away. But I ignore him, staying focused on the scanner. I don't think he had showered in a few days by the smell of him. He gets a little louder and says, "I see how it is. You probably only mess with doctors and rich men like that. You think you're too good for us. We can show you a good time." Whoops. "We can show you that you aren't. We could teach you a lesson." Now, I'm not sure in what context he meant, but it definitely wasn't good. Still looking at him, I turn away still not looking at him. Still not even friggin' looking his way. Okay, here we go. Still not looking at him, I turn away so my body is blocking his view of my purse, which I set on the scanner to grab my 4-inch pocket knife out and slide it up my jacket sleeve in case I need to protect myself, acting like I am searching for my wallet. I do this, however, in view of the self-scanner worker standing at her podium and look at her with wide eyes, trying to communicate that I don't feel safe and I might need help. I turn back to the machine and slide my credit card to pay, while the creepy and hostile guys are practically standing on top of me. The machine malfunctions and starts beeping. The lady worker comes over immediately, and the guys standing next to me change their expressions from "I'm planning to torture you for a couple of days and toss your body in a creek" to "just your friendly good old country boys making polite conversation over here." They actually tried to act like I knew them and we were friends so the worker wouldn't be alerted to their ill intentions. They tried joking with the worker, saying I was stealing something and that's why the machine went off. The worker was definitely not buying it. She was a 6-foot-tall woman with some muscle on her, by the way. I wouldn't mess with her on my best day. But anyways, she presses a few buttons on the screen, shooting the guys a very unimpressed look when they were trying to act charming, and cancels the order completely. She turns to me and says, "I'm sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am. This machine seems to be not working correctly. Why don't you gather your things and I'll ring you up at an actual register." She puts her hand on my back and gives me a wide-eyed look like I gave her a minute earlier, letting me know that she sees I'm in danger. I pick up my things to follow her to a register that is near the security office. The guys linger around the self-scan, still glaring at me, and eventually complete their purchase, but stand at the exit, assuming they're waiting for me. I felt like I would be walking to my death if I made my exit in that moment. The worker keeps a close eye on the guys and scans my items. As she is scanning, she tells me that she really wasn't any... Whoops. 700? Whoa, shit. Hello, 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 times 700. Really not a great idea to shower too much in one day. You get diminishing returns. You don't... I need to get all the stink off me. Eventually, I need my skin to just be translucent. I'm so clean. So fresh, so clean, clean. I took 5 showers today. So fresh, so clean. As she's scanning, she tells me there really wasn't anything wrong with the machine I was using. It just misread my credit card. She said, I had a bad feeling about those guys from the moment they walked in, and then I saw them getting aggressive towards you. I already rang security to be ready to walk out to the parking lot and make sure you left safely when you were ready to leave. Then I saw you take that knife out and put it up your sleeve, getting ready to protect yourself. Good girl. As much as I'd like to see you show them that they picked the wrong chick to mess with, I'm glad I was able to pull you aside and make sure you're safe. I see them waiting by the door for you. I'll just keep pressing buttons on the screen and act like I'm having trouble with your order until they give up and go outside. Our security officer and I both are still going to escort you to your vehicle when you leave. I thought to myself, this woman seriously deserves a raise. I thanked her over and over again and told her that they said to me that I was getting... Whoopsie daisy. Mr. Nuggets with the 2 Aussie bucks says, Joel, I'm head out. Have a great rest of the stream. Thank you, Mr. Nuggets. Peace out, my dude. And thank you for becoming a member, too. I really appreciate that. It's good to see you. Workout, shower, repeat. How many workouts do you do in one day? Cashier is a fucking queen. God knows what would have happened if she didn't catch on. I know, it's... Sometimes, yeah, it does pay to, like... Because sometimes in life, it's strange to think, like... I had this terrifying dream. And I think it was just sort of like... And this is going to sound actually very gruesome. I'm sure some of you guys have had very gruesome stories. Or not stories, but gruesome dreams, and probably gruesome things happen in real life. But basically what happened in the dream was that I used to work at a bar. Pretty chill bar for the most part. I mean, you got some drunks that wanted to start stuff, but it was just because they were stupid, you know, and drunk. And, but for the most part, it was pretty chill, actually. And then around, like, whenever we finally got everyone out, usually we lock up the doors, but there's, like, glass windows everywhere at the front of the area, and they can, it's a pretty small bar, and they could see inside and be like, hey, I forgot my fucking butt plug inside, I need to get in, or whatever. And then there were, in the dream, so this is a dream still, it's me, and, like, for some reason there's normally only, like, 4 door guys on in one night, but there was, like, maybe, like, 15 just, like, hanging around, of people just hanging around in the dream, and one of our female managers slash bartenders was, you know, saw the door was getting banged on, and she was going out pretty much just to give them attitude, you know, like, why the fuck, what the fudge is you doing here, whatever you want. And then, like, as soon as she opened the door, the guy, like, grabbed her and, like, rotated her around and just started fucking, like, this is the gruesome part, and I apologize, trigger warning here, but, like, just started, like, stabbing her in the neck over and over again. And, like, I'm just, like, for a brief moment, like, staring in shock and looking at, like, all the other door guys who are all just kind of, like, mindlessly staring there. And I had no idea what... I was the only one. I was like, I got up in the dream and fucking, like, ran at the dude with a chair and, like, started, like, hitting him in the head with a chair. And I don't know why I kept screaming this, but I was just like, subdue him! Subdue him! Subdue him! Like, that's what I just, like, kept screaming over and over again, while, like, every one of the fucking door guys just did nothing. Now, granted, it is a dream, so whatever, but it was just so strange, because I feel like it was just sort of like
Hey, listen.
just a reflection of my perception, I guess, towards the public, where, you know, whenever chaos is going on, because you're surrounded by, like, more people, it's like less likely that anyone will do anything because they all think that someone else is actually going to do something, but they don't. And it was terrifying. I don't know. It just like, it looked fucking scarily painful. Emmy B with a 5 says, listening to spooky stories alone in the dark with margaritas, perfect ending for a long day. That does sound amazing. Hope you got the salt around the edges there. I always thought that was the best part of the margarita. You should try to like make some like fancy hipster style margarita that has like Himalayan salt in it. And grass-fed tequila. Emmy B, you could say that the worm at the bottom of the bottle is grass-fed. Emmy B with 5 says, I had a very realistic... Oh, with another 5. I had a very realistic nightmare about zombies, like super realistic. Yeah, I don't know why. That's also one of my reoccurring... Yeah, what a Chad dream Joel is. Yeah. Dude, I've always had like ideas in my head, like pre-plans for like whenever like I'm like, okay, if we're out in the woods, fucking bear comes, I'm gonna die for my friends. I know that sounds fucking stupid. I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking wrestle the bear, and then my friends are gonna go. Even though I think like black bears for the most part they're pretty skittish of like humans, but hypothetically, I gotta be the fucking I gotta be the one. Or just like you got plans. And I think having plans is good because then it's like you're not just like an absolute shock, and then maybe you just kind of like go through the motions of your training, even though all that training just exists hypothetically in your head. Yeah, I'm gonna subdue the bear. Subdue him. But what would happen if the bear like really liked me and like fucking like rode him around like a World of Warcraft mount? I would have officially subdued him in that sort of scenario. You've had so many bear dreams. Oh yeah, but the zombie dreams. Yeah, like I have had so many zombie dreams where and those ones I'm not much of a Chad because they're just like they're everywhere. And they're usually like the slow moving zombies, not the fast ones. But just like in it I am just with friends like trying to figure out how to take like the longest way to like just navigate around from the zombies, or just essentially always on a constant jog, because you're just constantly trying to get away from the zombies, because if you fight them, just more will come. And I don't know why zombies were always something that like stuck with me. That's why whenever like Dying Light, if you remember that game, came out, and the second one's coming out soon, I think I'm excited about it. I'm not sure how to feel, honestly, but it should be sick. If a bear ever attacks you, just jerk it off so I'll fall asleep afterwards. That's honestly solid logic right there. But yeah, in Dying Light, like you're always, you're doing parkour, and that's what I would do in a lot of these dreams. Is I would just run and do like jump onto shit and like parkour, around, and that's exactly what you do in Dying Light. Is like most of the time you're just fucking just running, Can't subdue a horde of zombies. No, you're most likely just going to become one of them. TRH with the 2 says, letting you know you're awesome and I'm glad you exist. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You also are awesome. You are awesome. You are awesome. Awesome. Uh-oh, the FBI wants me to read a story. I guess I better do it. I thanked her over and over again and told her what they said to me, and I was getting afraid because I don't know what these guys are capable of. As I'm talking to her, my bar manager calls me to see what's taking so long. I explained what was happening, and he obviously was very concerned and ready to come up there himself and kick some butt. A sweet sentiment indeed. By the time I hang up, the guys had given up and walked out to the parking lot. The worker said to give it another few minutes because she had a feeling that they may still be in the parking lot waiting for me to walk out and see which vehicle was mine so they could follow me. My instant thought was, no way, they gotta be gone by now. I was wrong. The worker and security guard escorted me out, and as it was after midnight, you can imagine how empty the parking lot was. Sorry, my tongue just clicked for some reason. The worker and security guard escorted me out, and as it was after midnight, you can imagine how empty the parking lot was. Towards the back of the lot, there sat an old big pickup truck running with the lights on, pointing towards the store. It was a huge parking lot, and it wouldn't have made sense for them to initially park like that, so I'm assuming they moved the truck to sit that way so they had full view of when I exited the store to go to my vehicle. It was like being stalked by very hungry lions. When I unlocked my car and they saw that, the worker and the guard were looking directly at them, and that I wasn't getting my car... Whoops. Shut up, Jesus. Get the nail gun. Oh no, that's a bad joke. That's a naughty joke. We don't like to say those. Sometimes my mom tells me I shouldn't say bad jokes. Alexi is going to do some tongue clickings. When I unlocked my car and they saw that... Oh, fuck, sorry. Okay, when I unlocked my car and they saw that me, the coworker, and the guard were looking directly... Okay. When I unlocked my car and they saw that me, the worker, and the guard were looking directly at them, and that I wasn't getting in my car until we watched them leave, they then peeled out of the parking lot. I mean, they seriously did a burnout and established that they were angry and trying to intimidate us or something. Ah, poor creeps didn't get their way. Boo-hoo. I thanked the worker and the guard over and over again, as I am certain that they had just saved my life, or at least saved me from having to live with whatever those guys were planning on doing to me. I did write a long letter to the store manager and to their corporate location describing how their employees protected me and how grateful I was. I really hope they earned her a promotion. Suddenly, The Last of Us. Yes, the clickers. I really hope that earned her a promotion, bonus, or a raise. She didn't know me at all and was ready to protect me, which really isn't her job, but she went through with it anyway. Oh boy. Do you think there will be a Last of Us? Well, I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't played it. I actually just picked up Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm kind of excited to play through that. Like, I've been wanting to, because it's just like, it looks really cool, and I heard the story was really sick. Predator language, yeah. Dude, the Predators are fucking probably one of the coolest aliens in movies, I would say. I just like their culture. Hunters. But I also think, like, their hunting is kind of stupid. Oh, I've got invisibility. I can, like, run silently through the woods. I also got I got a fucking laser beam on my shoulder that blows through anything. I got, you know, swords that just, like, go up through people. I have the strength to pull your spine out through your back. You know what I mean? So it's like, they kind of have a little bit of an advantage, I guess. And so I'm not really that impressed by Predators overall. I feel like they're kind of bullshit, but I swear, dude. Fuck them. Also, yeah, they're fucking, dude, their ship is a nuclear bomb.
Hey, listen.
Joel, are you a PS4 or Xbox? Well, I had an Xbox whenever Halo 5 came out, but I was very underwhelmed by the experience, I guess, at the time. Even though I am very excited for new footage of Halo Infinite coming out here in like a day or two. Also, there's another game I really want to play called Carry On, where it's like a reverse horror game where you're just like this amorphous blob of like blood and tentacles just fucking ripping through a lab. Just ripping people to pieces. You should look that up. It's Carrion. It's fucking sick. It looks awesome. Oh yeah, and I also wanted to buy Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Sushi, but they were out of it at the store that I was at today, which I know you could get it online, but I just kind of wanted to like conveniently get it there when I was out and about, but we'll get there. What's my favorite Final Fantasy? I don't even know, to be honest with you. I only really made it through Final Fantasy X to the point in which you meet most of those like lion and tiger type people, those cat people, And and I was younger, and the only reason I even made it that far was because I was using I was using a Game Shark that basically killed everything with one hit. So I was kind of just playing it for the story. It was really neat, but then I got to a part where like I had to do something. None of my characters are actually leveled up, and I had to do something that like couldn't just kill them with one shot, and it was like basically glitched out, and I couldn't continue, and that was the end of that experience. So my experiences with Final Fantasy have been relatively limited, though I haven't always been like that big of a fan of the Japanese RPGs, you know, overall, just because they always seem kind of like excessively convoluted. But I am excited to see how this one plays out, just for the heck of it. Deshay Braun with the 4. You should do live streams where you just rant and chat. I think that would go well. It's pretty much what these are anyways, but I do like giving my brain a little bit of a rest by reading from time to time. And TRH with the 2 says Clickers, the new name for your fan base. Oh yeah. You know, quite possibly. Quite possibly. Click IRs. Zoo the Barber with the 5 says, keep up the grind, my guy, and I submit my story also. Nice, Zoo. Hope you put it on the subreddit there. We'll be doing subscriber stories here soonish. Ghost of Sashimi. Kanye is emotionally unstable. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes it's just like, when you get to be that, like, rich and famous, you have days where you're like, I want to be the fucking president of the United States. And then there are days where you're just like, oh, fuck this shit, man. This is stupid. I don't want to be the president anymore. But I do like Kanye's music. And I do like Kanye as a person. Even though I never met him, you know. Who gives a shit what I think? Do I skate? No, I don't. I tried it when I was younger. Fell on my ass one too many times, and I gave up. I was a pretty big giver-upper, I think. Joel 2020. Dude, I wouldn't know the first fucking thing about being president. Honestly, maybe I would. You know what? Maybe I would. Basically, if I was president, I would get out of your way. I would get out of all of your guys' way. I would cut the fuck out of your taxes. I would just basically anything that gets in your way, it's gone. It would be easy. It would be easy to be president for me. If something's in your way, I just move. My car's in your, blocking you from getting out of your driveway, I move it. Scoobity poop. Scoop-dee, poop-dee whoop. Scoop-dee, scoop-dee poop. Kanye was whack and always has been. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes I kind of wonder when you're that rich, that famous, you probably have experimented with quite a bit of drugs. And I do think certain psychedelics, especially for those who are more prone to, experiencing potential mental debilitations, so to speak. Those sort of illnesses could be exacerbated, you know what I mean? Yeah, are you guys gonna write me in? You should do it. Just write me in. Write me in. And then that would have to force them to be like, who the fuck is this Joel guy? Let's read for president. I guess. Well, he's got about 9% of the vote. We got to get him start a party, the Get Out of My Way party. TRHF to vote for Joel. Hell yeah, let's do it. 2021. Yeah. Just start running for president on a non-election year. They're like, what? What's he doing? All right, well, that would be fun if people just ran mock election bids and shit on years that were not election years, just because no one would really be paying attention at that point. So fuck it, I guess this is news. Yeah, everybody who's a member or a subscriber is no taxes. With the $2 from Shady Hiley, it says lol Kanye is a piece of shit. Oh, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know, dude. I don't fucking know him. Thank you for the 2. I know he's wilding out, you know. That's all I know. But I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, when you're that rich and famous, you're gonna wild out. You literally can't control your insanity at that point. You can. That's why I respect the celebrities who, like, actually live normal lives and just chill and don't get in your face about shit. Joel, answer me please. PS4 or Xbox? Oh yeah, so I had the Halo 5. I had the Halo 5, and basically what happened was I didn't really enjoy it that much. Though whenever I go on the Halo subreddit and I see Halo 5 gameplay, I want to fucking play it now, which sucks. And I hope that it's on PC, and I hope Halo Infinite, which I hear is going to be on PC, and I'm stoked about that. But so I gave the Xbox to my buddy, and he's got, you know, like 4 kids, and more specifically, his son really enjoys playing it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm always on the PC anyways. Like, he can have it, you know. So then I got a PS4 because I wanted to play GTA. I wanted to play GTA 5 in first person on like the PS4. You know, whenever they like double dipped on that, which I thought was so hilarious. But you know, to me, like first person GTA was sick as fuck. You know, and then that was cool. I think I ended up selling the PS4 to my roommate at the time, or you know, my roommate, and then he ended up selling it later, and then we both ended up buying PS4s, not at the same time, but specifically to play Red Dead. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's just like such a... Anyway, so I still have the PS4, and yeah. And, you know, don't touch it too often, except for like various games, but I do hope to play quite a few of them here now that I got it and kind of back in the mood for it. Tara Summers with the $5 says, Ludacris's Move Bitch. It should be your campaign song. That'd be amazing. This is every time I come out. Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way. Jasenia Garcia. Hesenia. Sorry. Hesenia Garcia with the... has become a full-grown pizza and a member of the Buttersock Cult. Welcome, Hesenia. Everybody say hello to Hesenia. I like that name. And Suck Her Punch with the 10 says, late to the stream, but thanks for the entertainment while I fuck up my sleep schedule to do laundry and smoke nightly stoke. Much love. Thank you, Sucker Punch. Good to see you again. I always appreciate you being here. Toast Malone. Home Malone. Holy shit. It's actually weird that worked out so perfectly with his name. I actually, I had a bit of a fantasy earlier. The FBI wants to know what state I live in. Hey, I think you guys should be able to figure that shit out. But we were listening to Kid Rock, Ba with the Ba, and I thought, like, if I was like an MMA fighter, that would be my fucking coming out song. Or Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way, but maybe I could do either or, like, as I do, like, a presidential campaign. My name is Cat. Bar with the bar, the bang, the bang, bang, the reggae. Bar with the bar, the bang, the bang, diggy, diggy, diggy. Kid Rock saw his shadow, 6 more weeks of fireworks. Shit. So my part of the story starts in 2009, and I was a junior in high school. I lived in a small town in Ohio. In the fall, I started dating my first real boyfriend, John. John was a senior, and many of his friends were dating my friends, and he's well liked and funny at school. I'm thrilled about the relationship, especially because my strict parents seem to like John as well. He's pretty quiet around them, but always polite and appreciative in their presence. Since it's a small town, John lived literally down the street, and we hung out all the time. My parents were actually getting divorced at the time, so I liked spending time at his place more than mine. John lived with Chris, a man who wasn't his biological dad, but someone he had lived with since around age 13 and often called Dad, Chris was an adolescent counselor who knew John because he had been in foster care and he had taken John in. Chris was an amazing human who was fun to be around, and it was just the two of them and their pug Murphy at the house. I didn't know much about John's childhood at first, other than it had clearly been rough enough for him to be involved with children's services. Anyway, we spent a lot of time together, and always had a good time with Chris as well. Eventually, John confided in me that he often had thoughts about ending his own life. I was shook by this, and I told Chris about it as well. We continued to date, and I did my best to support him. So the next year, I'm a senior and John has graduated, and he's not really doing anything. He didn't go to college, and his plans to join the military weren't really working out, so he's just living with Chris and working a part-time job that my dad had gotten for him. I've always been into school and extracurriculars, and I felt like John was kind of holding me back. Our relationship was going downhill in many ways, but I was scared if I broke it off with John, he might actually go through with ending his own life. He had threatened to do so when I tried. In May 2011, I graduated high school and decided I had to leave the relationship behind. I was having my own depression issues, and John was having a detrimental effect on my mental health. I finally told him we had to break up and he needed to stop contacting me, threatening to self-harm. I mostly cut off contact, and a couple of months later I got an apartment with a friend about 30 minutes away from home and beside the college that I was attending. On Friday night in April 2012, I'm in my hometown to see a friend, and I pass John's house where I see police cars everywhere. I'm shocked, and I assume that John must have gone through with it. So I immediately call our mutual friend Kyle. Kyle has no clue what's going on with John, and he says that John had hung out at his house the day before. Kyle said John seemed like he was in good mood. Sorry. My name is Kid Rock. Hasenia Garcia with a 10. Thank you, Hasenia. Gracias. Smack my bitch up is the ultimate intro. I know, everybody's got their MMA walk-in. Fellas and fellows, if you want Joel to creep up and on the recommended, be sure to give this like a stream. Give this stream a like. That would be fantastic, my fellas and fellows. Where are we at? Where are we on likes right now? I think we're at 278 likes. I wonder what's the most we've ever gotten on a stream. I'm not really sure, but we're at 840 people, which is pretty sick nasty. I assumed. Joel, you're better than that. What's an assume? What was I assuming? Download Grammarly before you submit a story, guys. Yeah, you could edit it inside of like Word docs or something. It might help you with that. But I mean, I think most of the time people like kind of get what they're doing there. Sometimes the grammar can be a bit precarious, and I always get amazed at the ones that get like super upvoted whenever they shan't have. Kyle said John seemed like he was in a good mood, especially because he was driving Chris's Beamer at the time, which he loved to do. Anyways, Kyle was actually chilling at my apartment with my roommate. This is normal as he had a crush on her, so I just kept... Oops. He had a crush on her. Hasenia with a 5 says, so happy I made the live chat. I always love listening to your voice and stories you read. Thank you for always making my mind. You're welcome, Hasenia. Thank you for all the generosity tonight. I really appreciate that. Anyways, Kyle was actually chilling in my apartment with my roommate. This was normal as he had a crush on her, so I just keep driving that way. When I get to my place, Kyle hasn't heard anything, but my mom calls me with a scoop. She's friends with the cops' wives, small town stuff. It turns out that John murdered Chris and was on the run somewhere. Someone had called for a wellness check after not hearing from Chris for a while, and the cops found his body at home. I was shocked and a little scared, as were Kyle and my roommate. So we all decided to stay at my roommate's parents' house for the night. By morning, the cops had luckily found and arrested John. He had taken the Beamer, so It was easily spotted at a rundown motel about 15 miles from his home, about 12 miles from our apartment. When the details came out, the whole thing was even more horrifying. It was a brutal homicide, and it had occurred days before the body was found, which means that John was just hanging out at Kyle's house between committing this act and getting arrested, just nonchalantly playing video games, telling jokes to Kyle's little sister, acting like everything was fine. In the meanwhile, he had stuffed Chris's body in their freezer at home. It's insane to think about how someone could be such a psychopath, and there was really no explanation. Jesus, this is fucking heavy, dude. What the fuck? That is nuts, man. That is fucking nuts. Winter, that's actually your voice saying, "Hey, listen." You also voiced over Zelda. I know, this story actually really caught me off. Do I have fans in my freezer? I don't think so. Unless they're hiding in there. And there was really no explanation given. John initially tried to plead insanity, but he was eventually deemed competent and then pleaded guilty. He got 30 to life in prison. I've obviously... Sorry. Yeah, it's knucking futs. My friend used to say that in like middle school all the time. He's like, "That's knucking futs." Like he would say it like that, and it would just make me lose my 8th grade shit back then. That's knucking futs. I've obviously told this story from my perspective, but the person who really matters in this is, of course, the victim. Chris was truly a saint of a human being. He had been my role model for so many years, and you just wonder, how could something so horrific happen to someone so good? And at the hands of someone they had given everything to. Someone they had loved, trusted, and had seen as a son. It's horrifying. Chris spent his life advocating for kids like John, and the local center he worked at is actually named after him now, as is the street that it is on. As I said to begin, I often wonder about the why of it all. Chris and John got along almost all the time, and though John clearly had mental issues, no one thought that he would hurt anyone by himself. Hurt anyone but himself, sorry.
Hey, listen.
Miss Molly. Hi, Joel. With the $5 Rooney says, "Hi, Joel. I've been listening the whole time, just doing some self-care, doing makeup, taking selfies. It's been a rough day. Thank you for streaming." Well, thank you, Miss Molly. Please post them selfies in the Discord. I don't think we've seen your beautiful face in there in quite a while. So we're going to need it. We're going to need it, everybody. Everybody to the Discord. Also, yeah. Wait, Alex, are you in the Discord? And if so, can you link an invite to the Discord on the off chance anybody asks it, or if we mention it by chance? By chance. As I said to begin, I often wonder about the why of it all. Chris and John got along almost all of the time, and though John clearly had mental issues, no one thought that he would hurt anyone but himself. But clearly something was very wrong with John that we missed. They say hindsight is 20/20, and I can definitely look back and think of a few strange instances with John. Sneaky, manipulative, and angry, he eventually showed all of those traits, but I was lucky enough not to experience any violence at his hands. I wish I could say the same for Chris. I'm thankful for the time I did spend with him and the positive impact he had on my life during that time. I know he had a positive effect on so many other lives as well, and may he rest in peace. Also, this has like some of the articles about the murder as well. Neighbors of Cambridge victim react. Years later, while in prison, it appears John had committed another murder, this time to a fellow inmate. Holy shit. Late edit update. I just found this article with a lot of information about the case, and it has details I haven't mentioned. Beware, it isn't pleasant reading, but it seems to verify a lot of the things I had heard around, including that John was abusing cough medicine. This was a big thing amongst my kids in town, and he also had a horrific juvenile record I was only acutely aware of. Oh, interesting. God damn, that sucks. I was like kind of half expecting that the Chris guy was like abusing him or something like that. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I was just kind of thinking like it was like some sort of build up, you know what I mean? FBI with the buckaroonie. Thank you, FBI. Open up! Open up, FBI! And Samuel with the 5 Aussie bucks says, thank you, Joel, for streaming. Currently making signs at work afternoons. Wait, currently making signs at work afternoons are always better with you, my love. Thank you, Samuel. Making signs, interesting. That sounds fun. Tara with the 5 says, love your voice, was browsing your merch. Would you be willing to make all those logos on tumbler cups? What's a tumbler cup? The merch, the tough thing about the merch, and you can explore through Spreadshirt if you want, but basically everything as far as like the actual baseline product that exists within Spreadshirt is relocated specifically to Spreadshirt. So like whatever items are available, like my logos can be put on them, but and that's kind of how it's advertised, I guess, like in the sense that you can put the logo on anything you want, like a cup or a, I don't know, I think they have mouse pads and shit like that, you know, just random stuff. Like a Yeti cup. Ah, well, that would be neat. But yeah, I'm not sure if Spreadshirt has expanded their merchandise to that, but I do believe that you can explore and like find items and then use a design from another creator, or not from another creator, but from a creator, anybody you want to create that on that website. But you have to let me know because I'm not sure if like a Yeti cup type thing is available. A pillow. I think they might have pillows. Pillowcases, maybe. Pillowcases. FBI, how old is everyone here? Jesus. FBI really wants to know all the info. Who would have thought the FBI would be the perverted ones? Daya M with the 5 says, how's it going? Thank you, Daya. Thank you. Jensen, I'm scared about when my real life birthday comes up. Oh yeah, you're gonna get... When is your birthday, Jensen? Didn't you just have it like March or something like that? Suddenly chills. Oh yeah, this part of the song kind of almost sounds like Alien Whales or some shit. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. You are 5,226,729 years old. I wonder what it's like to actually be that old. I wonder if there's like any... What if like there's a creature that's old and it's like not a big deal? They're like, this is boring. I'm ready to be dead. Whereas like a housefly probably looks at humans and are like, there's the ancient ones. They could crush us with a swift swipe. Please do be careful. Their wisdom knows no bounds. When's my birthday? It actually just happened. It was at the beginning of June. We had a nice drunk stream for it. It was a good time. Actually, a really good time. Like 8 hours too. And I was quite saucied. Those who misbehave in chat are subject to drink a shot glass of... That's funny. Okay. Well, that story honestly was really caught me off guard. These are just out of nowhere, dude. You don't want to live to be too old. Sounds exhausting. Honestly, that's like not... I mean, you never would... You want people to live for as long as they can. Long, healthy lives. Have family. You know, find meaning. Happy Joel Day birthday. But like... At the same time, I can't tell you how many like elderly people I've worked with in nursing homes who they say the same thing. They look at you as they're getting up to go to the bathroom and they say, "Oh, don't get old." You know, that's literally their thing is don't get old. And I'm like, that sounds sad, but also like also equally sad in the fact that you're advocating that I die. You fucking bitch. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't say that to them. But, like, it's just, I don't know. It's like a bit strange because you're just stuck between it. It's like you want to live, but you also want to live fully, you know? I don't even know. I don't even know, dude. 300 years. Yeah, did you ever see that thing where like people, I've somebody said this before in chat, but like people say like, or you'll see articles like, the first human to live to be 150 years old has already been born. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You a fucking time traveler? Like, why? Why is that person going to live to be 150? Like, what do you know that none of us know, and why are you not telling us? Stephanie, you make no sense. Believe me. I know. Quality of life is more important, yeah. That's why, yeah. Exercise, guys. Eat healthy. Get away from sugar. It's bad for you. You'll lose your toes. It's bullshit. It sucks. Then you'll get you'll lose your toe. No, this is what happens when you get diabetes. You'll basically, like, I don't even know the exact biology of it, but you can look up like diabetes, but like the microvasculature within your extremities primarily, because that's where, you know, the blood flow is. It's the hardest to get to because, you know, you're you know, that's why you'll notice sometimes your fingers and toes are the coldest whenever you do get cold. But anyways, like the microvasculature starts to like almost harden at those levels. Like, and I'm sure someone knows better science related to diabetes exactly, but it just in correlation to your sort of insulin resistance over time, and then you're going to end up with this, like, eventually your toe becomes necrotic because it hasn't had like blood flow to it, so your toe starts to turn like black, and then, you know, then eventually it moves up to, you know, all your toes turn black, and then all of a sudden all of your foot starts turning black, or like the undercarriage it starts to become necrotic, and then it's like slowly moving up your leg is becoming like purple and gross, all because of diabetes, and it sucks. And then you get like a shitty surgeon who's like, okay, we're just going to take the toe and see how things progress. And then they get paid because they take your toe, and then they take like the bottom of your, you know, your foot, and then they take it just under the knee, and then they take it above the knee, you know. So it's like you just get to end up getting a shitty surgeon who's just trying to milk your misfortunes anyway, just because of too much damn ice cream. You're turning me on. What did Bra Bros have to say? Evidence indicates our average lifespan is going to remain the same, so no one is living to 150 anytime soon. Yeah, it says you, Brob. Why don't you go paint a fucking painting of yourself dead? Just kidding. I know Bra Bros, that's why I say mean things to him. Yeah, this is the creepiest story. Yeah, keto baby, all the way. Or just healthy, you know. Non high fructose corn syrup lifestyle. Avoid that. This happened about 11 months ago when me and my wife got married in June. I'll never be so grateful that I have a habit of locking doors. Our wedding day was coming to an end. Family and friends were slowly starting to depart as me and my wife, Diana, took pictures and chatted with some of the guests who stayed a little longer and were just having a good time. It was a great day and a lot of fond memories were made, but what was least expected is what happened that night as we were on our way to our honeymoon. As me and Diana said goodbye to the last of my... Did anyone here have a good wedding? That's what I want to know. Did everyone here have... Did everyone here have a good wedding? If you got married, was it a good wedding or was it not? Because there's a weird feeling that I have about these big weddings that people have, that it's going to be so unbelievably stressful that it almost will seem not worth your time nor your money. You know what I mean? And honestly, a lot of the weddings that I go to, it doesn't even really seem like people are having that great of a time. Like, sure, it's probably fun, but a lot of the times it's kind of inconvenient. I don't know about you guys going to a wedding, like, you don't always feel very comfortable with all the random people being there to just get like schlizzy sloshed or whatever. But alkaline bodies last. Interesting. You had a good wedding and a good divorce. Congratulations, Jem. Yeah, divorce. I don't know. How do you avoid divorce? How does one avoid divorce? Is that possible? Is it possible to not get divorced? Two witnesses and the preacher. Yeah, simple sounds better to me, you know? And then just like a sick ass vacation with like some friends. Like I had some friends, like they got married in like locations and it was very simple. Just like a simple group of individuals, you know, that wanted to be around each other and had a good time, you know? Don, yeah. Oh, yes, Joel, married 3 times. Well, good. I hope every one of them were sick as fuck. You had a good wedding. 30 people was fun. Nice. Yeah, that seems pretty manageable. Uh-oh, the devil is back. Be happy. That's the only solution, dummy. I know. Yeah, you know, just marry your bestest friend. Whether that's a dog or a tree or your dad, whatever, you know. Keto makes you stinko. I don't know if I agree with that one. Can't get divorced if you don't get married. Mediocre Bit with the 5 says, I had a great wedding this weekend. It was almost perfect. We ran out of water bottles, though. Oh, shit. Just like that fire festival. And they have that video of the guy's like, I'd suck a dick for some water. As me and Diana said goodbye to the last of the guests around 9 p.m., we got into the car and headed home. We had our bags packed prior to the wedding day for Cancun and were ready to go. I live in Washington, and we were in a bit of a hurry because instead of flying out from Seattle Airport and SeaTac like normally people do, it was a lot cheaper for us to drive up north to Canada and fly out from a Canadian airport. Also, me and my wife thought it'd be fun to have a little road trip to Canada and then fly out from Canada to Cancun. Plus, it was only a 3.5-hour drive for us and cheaper, so we headed out around 12 a.m., midnight. We had a great time driving, blasting music, talking about Cancun, and just being excited about the new chapter in our life. Diana slowly started to fall asleep. Being exhausted from the wedding and whatnot, we were halfway to Canada. At this point, we were no longer in the city area, but more a wooded area with fewer cars and fewer people the more we drove, practically seeing no one on the road. By that time, it was around 3 a.m. We had some extra time on our hands, and I was starting to fall asleep too, so I pulled over to a gas station to get some Red Bull to keep me awake. I pulled into the gas station that was completely empty and parked the car to see Diana asleep. I told her I'm taking the keys and locking her inside and then I'd be right back. Not sure if she could hear me, but she kind of noticed her. Oh. Deshay with the 2 says post-wedding dresses in Discord. Oh shit.
Listen.
No, that would start a trend with a lot of the girly girls in there. Some wedding dresses. And then eventually we will try to fit back into them. Wonder if I'll fit into my wedding dress. Do you guys think? What size do I need? I hope there's enough room in that wedding dress for these guns. Shit. I told her I'm taking the keys and locking her inside and then I'd be right back. Not sure if she could hear me, but she kind of motioned her hand around like people normally do when they're too tired to care. I came back around 6 minutes later to find my wife shaking and crying. I was confused and freaking out a bit because I wasn't sure why she was crying. She couldn't even get words out at first. Later, when she calmed down, she told me this. Apparently, she did hear me when I told her that I'd take the keys and be right back, and as she was sleeping, she was awoken by a tapping on the driver's side window. Being too tired to get up or even open her eyes, she lazily went for the unlock button on the passenger side of the door. As she was going for it, she froze. A thought passed her mind, and then she remembered. Didn't he say he had the keys? Why would he need me to unlock the door for him? That's when she heard a woman's voice mumbling from the driver's side. She turned herself around to look at the window and saw a woman, long black hair with wide eyes and a crooked smile on her face. She couldn't hear what she was saying at first, but when she heard what she was saying, she kept repeating in a mumbled tone, "Are you tired? Are you tired? Are you tired?" Over and over and over again. "Are you tired?" She freaked out and told the woman to leave her alone. The woman laughed and told my wife that she was tired too. The woman never took her eyes off of her and tried the door handle. At this point, my wife was close to tears and attempted to call me, but as she did, she heard what sounded like a phone buzz and realized I left my phone in the car. Out of options, my wife started to honk the horn, trying to scare off the women while also maybe getting my attention. The woman still had her gaze on her and started mumbling more while laughing and trying the door handle again. Then she mentioned something about someone named Sarah and asked my wife if she knew her. After a few more minutes of mumbling, she left. To my wife's words, the minute she left, I came out of the gas station, so my wife broke down. I don't know how I didn't hear the honking of the car, and I still feel bad for leaving my phone in the car. My wife also added that one of the creepier things about that woman is that she didn't look homeless or dirty or anything. In fact, she seemed normal and well-kept. My wife said that she'll never forget the woman's wide eyes and the gaze that she had on her with that smile. It also chills me to think that what would have happened to my wife if... Whoops. Jenna with a 15 Canadian maple syrup doll hairs is my kitty cat, Mr. Marma? Mr. Marma is drawn to your mellow voice, always by the speaker, chilling each time you're on. That's kind of amazing, actually. Hello, kitty, 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 kitty. Come here. Come here, kitty. Come here, kitty. Come here, kitty. Like the speaker eats it. Sorry. Not that it, just kidding, but yeah, you get the idea. It also chills me to think about what would have happened if my wife never realized that I had the keys, or if she never heard me about locking... Fuck, I don't know, I can't read this sentence. It also chills me to think what would have happened if my wife never realized that I had the keys, or if she never heard me talking about locking her inside and opened the door while faced the other way. I don't know what those women's intentions were, but if I couldn't hear the knock of a horn, I'm not sure if I'd hear screams. Kitty, kitty. Electronics, what up, bro? What's good? What's good, homie J? Yay. Homie A through Z. Homie G. Homie A, homie B, homie C. Eloquent Tiger, good night. Boo, fucking boo, Eloquent. Going to bed. Alright, I just pissed in this bottle. Time to drink it. Ah, yes. Do I have big fans in my city? Like giant fans that hang off the ceiling to keep everyone cool? I hope so. I hope so. Did I fart? I don't think so. The manager of Let's Read. Who wants to be the manager? Oh shit, Gemini girl is brooding. Brooding. Okay, here we goes. Dudes, pay his attention. This one's very scary. My skin still crawls thinking about this guy. He saw me shopping for school supplies and things for my new apartment one evening during my first week of grad school and decided I was his mark. I had just moved to my new college town. Didn't even have a cell phone yet after leaving the one my folks paid during undergrad behind. Fuck, that sounded weird. I had just moved to my new college town. Didn't even have a cell phone yet after leaving the one my folks paid for during undergrad behind. I was grown and could take care of myself. Eye roll. What a nitwit I was. As I left the parking lot with my purchases, I noticed this truck pull up behind me at the exit. It was late and there weren't too many people out. I pulled out and so did he. It was a few miles down a long retail street with lots of stoplights before my turn. As I drove, I realized the guy in the truck was trying to get my attention. I was in a relationship, so I ignored him. Over the next few miles, he kept trying to get me to look at him. Some red lights, he would end up ahead of me. Oh, I see. Some red lights, he would... Some red lights he would end up ahead of me, some behind or beside. At every... Oh, some red light... I don't really understand this sentence. Some red lights he would end up behind... Sorry. Some red lights he would end up ahead of me, some behind or beside. At every light he positioned himself so he could stare at me either directly or in one of his mirrors. His gaze was unwavering and my anxiety rose. He was driving oddly, speeding up close to my bumper, hitting his brakes when he was in front of me, swerving close to my car a couple of times. Finally, at a red light where he was beside me, I glanced over and absolutely started to panic when I was met with an unbelievably empty, unwavering stare and realized he was fiddling with himself. He was getting off on the fact that I was terrified, and he was following me, and he was trying to force me to pull over. At one point, I scooted through an intersection on a hard yellow. Are you fiddling with yourself again, old chap? Out in the road following women. What time is it in America? It's probably a couple of different times all at one time. Here it's 1 a.m. Holy shit, it's 1 a.m. Jeesh. Jeesh. At one point, I scooted through an intersection on a hard yellow a couple of cars ahead of him, thinking I could shake him. Nope. He went around the cars at the light and ran the red and got back in front of me. A freeway entrance ramp came up and I tried to fake him out by putting on my signal and getting into the merge lane for it. He took the bait and started up the ramp. I quickly got out of the merge lane and continued straight. Again, I'd hoped to lose him, but he drove his truck down the embankment to keep following. Another light where he was beside me, I pulled through the light and then turned at the last possible second. He made a U-turn and ran another red to follow me. My panic really ramped up at that point. With no cell phone, no sense of direction, in a new city, I really didn't know what to do. So I turned on classic rock and forced myself to sing along and forced myself to go the speed limit so I wouldn't crash out of terrified stupidity. I decided to drive to the supermarket across town because I remembered it had a police station in it. He followed me all the way there. He burned out of the lot as soon as he saw all the cop cruisers parked out front. I filed a report and asked for a police escort home. I insisted because something told me that this creep was waiting for me to leave the police station. He was. As soon as I pulled out, I saw him. I pulled over and told the officer following me that... I pulled over and told the officer following me, and he went after him, but the truck had taken off, and the cop couldn't catch him. The police got their surveillance video from the first store. It turned out this jerk had been dogging me the entire time I was shopping. I saw him on surveillance footage following me through the store. I saw him following me out, close enough to grab my LO. Jesus, sorry. Lils with the 5 says, I'm glad I wear a mask at work because the customers can't see me smirking or smiling like an idiot at your jokes. Oh, that's funny. Incognito. Thank you for the 5. Dude, look up 2 Girls, 1 Cup. Not again, Grandma. You're not going to get me with this one.
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen. I saw him on surveillance footage following me through the store. I saw him follow me out, close enough to grab my elbow. I saw footage of him circling the lot in his truck, waiting for me to pull out when I took too long to unload my cart. My heart sank. I was able to remember 6 of 7 digits of his plates and the make and model of his truck. In the end, the cops did nothing. They said it was a he said, she said, since the surveillance video didn't catch him doing anything particularly unlawful, and was a losing case to try to charge him with anything. I ended up trading vehicles with a friend for a couple of months to try to feel safer and went on with my life. I had no idea what this disgusting piece of shit. I can't say that. Hi, you can't say that. Shout out to all the pair. Oh, I had no idea what this monster... Okay. I had no idea what this monster did just a handful of months later, after almost 15 years... Wait, what? Oh, okay. I had no idea what this monster had done just a handful of months later, until almost 15 years had passed. I was watching a Discovery ID show about the kidnapping and murder of Sandy Jeffers. I almost fell off my seat when I saw the mugshot of her killer, Aaron Lee Skeen. It was him. I was so disgusted that law enforcement did nothing in my case that I tracked down the investigator in the murder case and, after verifying some things about the vehicle that were charged, what the fuck's wrong with me? Changed in the, okay. Immortal, you're still awake. I was so disgusted that law enforcement did nothing in my case that I tracked down the investigator in the murder case and, after verifying some things about the vehicle that were changed in the TV reenactment to weed out people making stuff up, she took my contact info and official statement. She could neither confirm nor deny that my run-in with Skeen... She could neither confirm nor deny that my run-in was with Skeen, but qualified her statement by saying, "At least you don't have to worry about him anymore because he got life without parole." I only wish something could have been done when he terrorized me. Perhaps things would have been different for Sandy. Did I say thing or things? I don't even know. My brain is breaking. I thought this was that story where there's a murderer in the back seat and the driver is trying to help her. I don't recall that one, Mr. Brob. I think you're going nutso. I only wish something could have done when... Fuck, sorry. One cucumber, one guy. Jesus. Turns into one pickle, one guy. I'm Pickle Rick. I only wish something could have been done when he terrorized me. Perhaps things would have been different for Sandy. Alright, alright. Alright, alright, alright. You need more juice for your vape? Your vape? Your vape? Went to the mall today. And holy shit, what a depressing place to go. Place is passing away. Jaden, welcome. Just tuning in. I wish, like, for people that have stuck around for a period of time in previous streams, that they would be, like, prioritized to, like, get notifications, you know, ASAP Rocky. You need a massage, Joel. That would be nice. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. How true are the stories you tell? Well, you know, I'm kind of just experiencing them with you guys in the same fashion, so pretty much however true you guys think they are is probably the same level my brain works at as well. Okay, we got 2 more stories to read here. Joel, did you play Last of Us? You know, I didn't. I didn't play 2. Watched my roommate play it. I played a little bit of the beginning of 1 whenever he let me play that one. And that was pretty much it. I just, like, did not get into it, you know. Not that I didn't like it, but it kind of like got away from me. I'm kind of weird in the sense that like after I experience like a short period of a game, unless there's like sort of competitive aspects to it, once in a while I kind of feel like it fades from my memory a little bit or my desire to continue through it, unless there's like something novel that I know that I'm experiencing. Bob Ross. The story is like a girl driving home alone. It's rain. She stops at gas station, gets gas, drives off, and a truck bolts out of the station and follows her. He tails, he tailgates her, flashes lights. I don't know, Brobby boy. Yeah, we going late. We going late, boy. This happened when I was 14, well over 10 years ago at this point. I grew up in a mid-sized town with quite a few suburbs and industrial areas kind of mashed together. The downtown was nothing special except for an overabundance of coffee shops and some historic buildings. I went out alone a lot after school because I liked having independence, avoiding being home and listening to music. I typically left my house before my mom got home close to 5 p.m. and was back before dark, which, depending on the season, was any time between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. I had a cell phone, a flip phone at that time, so my mom felt safe letting me go out alone as I could call her any time. For most of my time as a 14-year-old, I would go to the same coffee shop, getting something filled with sugar and caffeine, and try to draw or write while listening to music. I went there so often that they knew my order and the approximate time I would come in. I was also the token goth kid around town, and I looked older than I was, the curse of developing early, so I guess I was easy to remember. One day, I was sitting in my usual spot at a table by the window trying to draw. I'm not very good of an artist, and I can see some guy staring at me from the booth facing my table on my left. I'm pretty used to this feeling, so I just continued drawing. A little while later, the man comes up to me and asks to borrow my pencil. I smile and give him one of mine and just go back to what I'm doing. Shortly after that, he comes up again and asks if he can talk to me. I wanted to join him in his booth. Oops. Dolly Reynolds Dolce with a 5 says, "Let's read After Dark, baby." After the dark in the park. Don't be snarky. Shortly after that, he comes up again and asks if he can talk to me and wants me to join him at his booth. At this point in my life, I had already been approached by men who typically backed off once they learned my age. I also was terrified of making a grown man angry because in my mind it was better to pacify someone than to provoke them. I figured an angry man might be more prone to hurt me, so I acquiesced and sat at his booth with him. He slid into the booth beside me, which was uncomfortable, but he hadn't made physical contact with me. He gets to talking and tells me that he's so nervous talking to women, and that I'm the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. I try to take compliments quietly and laugh them off, waiting for my opening to tactfully tell him that I'm basically a child. I ask him what he does for a living and how old he is. He responds that he's in construction and he's 21 years old. Then he asks me what I do. I say, well, I'm still in high school because I'm 14. He's taken aback by this just a little bit, and I can see it on his face. Mentally, I'm preparing to make my exit because now that he knows I'm a minor, I can get out of this. Well, I was wrong. He doubles down on telling me that I'm the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. Then he proceeds to tell me that he remembers every outfit I've worn since he first saw me 2 months ago. Since I go out almost every day, it's a lot of outfits, and he describes them to me and tells me what his favorite outfit of mine is. I take the same route to the coffee shop from my house every day, so he must hang out somewhere along there. Did he follow me to the coffee shop? Has he been stalking me? At this point, I'm freaking out on the inside, but I'm trying to keep my cool until I can figure out a way to gracefully exit the situation. We make small talk. I'm still scrambling for a way out, and I try to distance myself from him in the booth. He puts his arm around my shoulders and a few moments later says, "I keep forgetting you're 14. I can feel myself tense up at this point. I try to stammer through something and laugh it off. I notice that it's getting dark out and say, "Oh, well, I really need to get home. My mom will be worried about me." Trying to play it up that I'm still pretty much a kid. He resists and says that I should come to the park with him and his friend. The park is on my way home, so I tell him that I can walk past it, but I should really get home. His friend was already at the coffee shop unbeknownst to me, but sitting further away, so he introduces us and we all leave. I don't really remember the walk to the park, but when we get there, he vehemently tries to convince me to walk down the hill into the now very dark park with himself and his friend. That sounded weird. That was a pretty weird. I kind of like the way this person writes it. Like, I know it sounds weird sometimes, but sometimes when the way people write with like the appropriate commas, it just like flows so much easier. Can we get a Zelda horror game? I feel like, what's that? Ben Drowned. Hey, Swamp Dweller, Stonks and Shrunk. What's up, big boy? Big cutie boy. My big soupy boy. My big swampy boy. It's my big swampy boy. I don't really remember the walk to the park, but when we get there, he vehemently tries to convince me to walk down the hill into the now very dark park with himself and his friend, 2 adult men. I tell him that I really have to get home, that I have school in the morning, and that I'm sure we'll run into each other again. I finally make my exit and begin feeling some relief. I'm maybe a block away from the park when his friend comes chasing after me and tells me that they have coupons for tacos and goes on about how much his friend likes me and wants to take me out. I'm kind of incredulous at this point. He's trying to impress me with taco coupons? I tell him no, that I'm a kid and that I have school. Luckily, the friend backs off and I safely make it home. I start changing up my route and didn't go to that coffee shop for a while after that. I run into the guy and his friend separately a couple of times after that. The guy himself pulled up to me in a minivan a few months after the incident and offered me a ride home. Luckily, I was pretty close to my house and managed to negotiate my way out of it, and his friend struck up unrelated conversations with me in the library almost a year later. I'm an adult now, and that was far from my last encounter with adult men that didn't care that I was a minor. The creepy guy who wanted to hook up with 14-year-old me, I hope you never meet another minor that you try to impress with free tacos. Coupons. But I got coupons though. Come on. Who? Bitches love coupons. SCP-049 says I've been trying to kill a fly for the past hour. Oh, I know the pain. My friend has a salt gun. It's like a Nerf gun looking thing, but it shoots, you put salt in it, and it shoots salt at like insects that you're trying to get. And it's kind of interesting because, I mean, you have to be careful you don't shoot it in your own eye, obviously, you know. You'll shoot your eye out. But like the salt will like pretty much strike at a pretty, impactful force through whatever the creature's body, and wings are, and then the salt will like burn through it or whatever as well. So I don't think it's like a torture thing, if anybody cares about the, longevity and life of a fly, but it's kind of funny. Hey, that's Brob. Don't assault me. I used to say that in 9th grade. Like, it was so fucking stupid, dude. Like, we'd be sitting in 9th grade lunch, and then, like, just one of the friends would be like, "Aerial assault." And then, like, just dump salt all over your food. And that was very... It was so stupid. It's just, like, funny, all of the jokes that you made when you were younger, because they still make me laugh now. I've always kind of said that my humor is pretty much peaked at 8th grade, and that was it. I'm just done. Just poop jokes and pee-pee jokes. And salt jokes, I guess. Fly 0 SCP. Maybe the fly is an SCP and you have no idea. Okay, me friends, we're going to read this last wee bit of the last story, so strap in your fucking seatbelts. Make sure you're at least 3'11". Well, I guess that's kind of excluding the cat, so... You know what? There are no height requirements for this ride. Just fucking strap in, alright? Here we go. Do I like gore, Mr. Let's Read? You know, I don't. I don't, really. I do, I guess, in video games, maybe? Like, it's, you know, whenever we play, Mordhau, if you guys have ever played Mordhau, sometimes you would get, like, a real... First off, it's the hardest fucking game ever. It makes me infuriated, and I actually rage quit because, it's... The controls make no fucking sense how to play Mordhau, but it's so satisfying. Like when you finally get like a hit on somebody with your big hammer or, you know, a fucking sword, you just like smash their head open, or you like cut something off of them, and you know, it's hilarious. It's just a really really funny game. But IRL gore, not really into at all. You know what I mean? I've seen, you know, obviously like anybody else who's exists on the internet for a long time, like. I don't even like watching like fight videos. Like a lot of people like World Star, like fight videos make me really uncomfortable for some reason, because I just like, I don't know why, like they just make me really uncomfortable, like watching two people, like I mean I can watch like MMA or some shit, but like the weird ones that you see online where people are just like fighting with each other, it's just like because sometimes like they'll just get like clocked randomly, and then their head like smacks against the concrete, and then some people just keep kicking them too, which is really fucked up. And I'm just like, dude, I can't watch this. This is like, makes me I don't know, it just makes me really uncomfortable, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, keep it away. So, needless to say, anything that involves anything beyond that just makes me feel not so good inside. Can you say ooh with your mouth? With my mouth or my butt? What do you want me? How do you want me to say it? Like, I'm not judging anybody who wants to just sit and go to fucking like, I don't know, Best Score or some shit like that, or you know, watch World Star fights all goddamn day. Like, I don't give a shit, you know what I mean? But it's just, they just make me feel like a part of my soul is sucked out a little bit. If you catch my vibe, like a negative energy is being like vomited on me. Yeah, you could kind of be watching someone get brain damage. It's pretty fucked up. The karma videos. Yeah, also cringe compilations. They make me uncomfortable too. Like, I mean, I guess that's what cringe, you're like, ugh, cringe. But like, I actually don't really enjoy watching cringe compilations, because that's like a sensation I'm not really keen on. Why would you default to your butt as a second option? That's really... in this it's hard party lines nowadays, you know. It's your mouth or your butt, you pick. It's the dichotomy of the human anatomy. In my teens, I had a fair share of encounters with creepy older men, and after my last post here, I figured I'd post another encounter I had. This happened when I was 15, over a decade ago. This happened when I was 15, over a decade ago. Sometimes my mess-ups make me sound mildly Irish. I don't know why. And Cringe Comp is just an album of your selfies. Nah, dog. Do you ever get creeped out by the stories you read? I mean, I wouldn't want them to happen to me, but I know that my demographic is not all, you know, I'm not, like, that's why, like, there was a picture on the Discord of me, you know, looking how I look, with a caption that says, I'm a 14-year-old girl, because it's like, or then, like, Axeman Cartoon had a picture of, like, this one cowboy from some movie that just said below, like, I'm a 14-year-old girl, like, as the background of his computer. He might still have that, but it's kind of obviously making fun of the fact that, you know, a grown man with a deep voice like myself is saying I'm a 14-year-old girl, but it's also like a commentary on the fact that the majority of these people in these stories, not the majority, but like the ones that get highlighted are like the ones in the previous story where it's a 14-year-old girl, or in this case a 15-year-old girl who is having something creepy happen to them by men, and I'm a very hairy 14-year-old girl. So when I read these stories and they occur to those primary demographics, and I look at my demographic, I realize the likelihood of them happening to me is most likely very, very likely, and I'm terrified all the time. Okay. This happened when I was 15, over a decade ago. Boy, I'm starting to feel old. I've told this particular story to friends for years, but I've never posted it online. There were a lot of long stretches of industrial area in the town that I grew up in. Large plazas with big parking lots stuck next to one another, and wide open stretches of road and highway. The majority of my town felt like the area before an airport. Flat, gray, and functional. And as a depressed teenager, I used to go out after school a lot by myself. First, it was within my neighborhood, but it escalated to me leaving the quaint residential areas to walk an hour or two in any direction. I'd usually make my way home before dark, and I had a trusty flip phone at the time to call my parents if I needed to. Generally, I felt pretty safe walking on the main streets because of how populated they were. There were always plenty of cars on the road, and there were quite a few pedestrians out and about. One early summer evening at about dusk, I was making my way home from one of my walks. It was a route I'd taken a lot, and I was about a 40-minute walk from home. I was just passing a parking lot when a car pulled out in front of me. I stopped about 2 feet from the vehicle to let it turn onto the road, but the driver rolled down his window. "Hey, how are you?" he asked me. The man looked to be in his late 40s and greeted me with an unsettling enthusiasm. Maybe I should give a bit of an unsettling enthusiasm to go along with it. 3,000 flowers. Does anyone fall asleep to his listening to his videos, or is it just me? Is it just 3,000 flowers, guys? Did anybody else do that? "Hey, how are you?" he asked me. The man looked to be in his late 40s and greeted me with an unsettling enthusiasm. I wasn't sure how to respond, but since I couldn't pass his car, I hoped he just needed directions or something. I'm okay. How are you?" Before I could even finish my response, he says, "I love your style. Goth girls in boots are one of my fetishes." And I'm not paraphrasing. Now, as I said, I'd been approached quite a few times by creepy men, but this guy was beyond bold. I had absolutely no idea how to respond. Just as I was going to try to formulate a response, a car pulled up behind him, meaning that he was blocking another car from exiting the parking lot. There's a car behind you trying to get out," I tell him, relieved that I now have a way to get out of this conversation. "I'll meet you in the next parking lot," he exclaims. And as I try to tell him no, that I need to get home, he drives off. In my mind, there was no way he could be serious. I continued walking, but sure enough, he's in the next parking lot. The parking lot he'd entered was down a bit of a hill, and he was standing beside his car. As soon as he saw me, he started waving me down. I've been following... Whoops. Garrett says, "I told my girlfriend I wanted a little pussy. She said, me too. Mine is big as a house." Oh, that's funny. Sorry. I couldn't quite wrap my head around the joke. Fetish is a gross-ass word, too. It is kind of creepy. Immortal Faye, I feel like everything you say gets, like, blocked out because you always say naughty words. Stop saying naughty words, boyo and or girlo. The missing 411 freaks me out as well. We'll be calling in. Oh, I haven't really looked into the missing 411. Was it 411 or missing 411? Hey, Addison has become a full-grown pizza and a member of the Buttersock Cult. Welcome, Addison. You know what, guys? It kind of inspires me a little bit to do like a monthly creepypasta for like the Patreons and the members, because then I could kind of like hype it up, you know what I mean? I could like be like, guys, this month we are reading this. I could have you guys vote in that. That would be sick. Slowly but surely, Joel is turning into chills. But yeah, I could have you guys like vote if I had like 4 to pick from or something. I could have you guys vote and then, you know, that'd be fun. I do want to give members like something other than just the fact that they support me, you know what I mean? So that is what I will hopefully try to do. Also, we're close to 1,000. Can we get there before the end of the stream? Can you cuss in Romanian? You know, it might recognize it because, you know, Google knows everything. Wait, did you cuss? Did you cuss? Did you fucking cuss? Did you fucking say a fucking swear word? Give us a number 15. Ooh woo. The last thing you want in your butter socks is a big load of ooh woo. You need to hear Jensen's. Jensen's is perfect. I've gotten to the point where, yeah, Jensen actually sounds more like Chills to me than Chills does. I've been followed by cars before, and I was generally afraid of the idea of making a man angry and being stalked to my home. I assessed the situation. He was parked about 10 feet from a dive bar, and there were about 15 men outside on the patio, which meant that they could see me and would be in potential earshot if I screamed. I weighed the options between going down to meet him versus potentially being followed home and made the stupid decision to walk down the slight incline. I honestly don't know why I didn't just pretend to be on the phone or call my mom. I don't remember what he said when I approached, but I kept my distance from him in his car so I wouldn't be easy to kidnap. He walked around to his trunk and I felt myself tense up and take a step back. He then pulls out a pair of women's boots and approaches me slightly to show them to me. They were laced up, about mid-calf, maybe size 9. Nice, aren't they? He asked me. Yeah, I responded hesitantly. They were not nice, but my brain was on autopilot. Wanna try 'em on for me? He asked, grinning. I'm absolutely stunned. More than scared, I'm completely baffled that this is actually happening. I think I'm a little too young for you, I managed to stammer out. No, you're what, like 20? I'm 15. All the blood leaves his face, and he finally realizes that he's made a mistake. He quickly puts the boots back in his trunk and says something to the effect of, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you're just so hot. I should have been saying that. You're 15. I kind of laugh him off and exit gracefully. He drives out of there well above the speed limit. I'm relieved but left absolutely bewildered and creeped out. Why was he carrying around a pair of women's boots? How many women did he approach? What just happened? What would have happened if I was over 18? Why did his brain think Who's that Pokemon, right? No, I'm just sorry. Black Bugatti with the 2 says horror stories. I've got a horror story for you. Thank you for the 2, Black Bugatti. I like that name. Sounds like a superhero. Sounds like an anti-hero superhero from a really, really cool graphic novel. Why did his brain think that... Wait, what is it? Why did his brain think that what he... Oh, think that what... Okay. Why did his brain think that what he just did... What? Sorry. I don't know why I'm like... It's like a weird combination of words. Combo breaker. Why did his brain think that what he just did was okay even if I had been old enough? Okay. Why did his brain think that what he just did was okay even if I had been old enough? I still can't wrap my head around everything that happened, and if he thought that it would actually work even if I was an adult. I'm in my late 20s now, which means that if he approached me today, he probably would be more insistent. Hey, what's up? I got some boots for you. Need you to try them on. Scariest story I've ever told. This one? Interesting. It is creepy. 'Tis creepy. At least the guy backed off, you know. Jesus Christ. Nice. What if he did that instead? He just like clicked his mouth. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. It's like one of the plights of like all these stories, just fucking creepy ass men cannot control themselves. Jesus Christ. Jensen, are you streaming after this, Mr. Man? Nah, no ASMR here, just me clapping my cheeks in the mic, yeah. Jensen's getting better at it. Oh, the fart noise. My name is Cleveland Brown. I haven't seen the Cleveland show in a while. I wonder if it's still funny, or if it was funny at all. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure anymore. All right, my friends. Well, we have reached the... Oh, Brittany! With the 20 big ones, says, just wanted to thank you for another great stream. Keep being the amazing human being that you are. I've got tons of love and appreciation for you, Joel. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you. That makes me feel really good. I appreciate that a lot. And thank you for the 20 to end the stream with. You guys will have to come up with a nice little outro for me as I read here. Jensanio, did you? I can't remember. Jensen, did he say he's Strammin? Hey friends. Hey friends, I'm caught in another dimension. It's pure hell and pain, constantly, 24/7. Please pray to the Lord Jesus Christ to get me out of here. Help! My soul, my everlasting soul. That'd be a good outro, right guys, right? Hey Joel, your videos have inspired me to start my own narration channel. Do you have any advice for anyone starting out? Yes. Really have like a marketing plan for what you are going to be specifically as a channel. Like, you know, obviously having like a good, like invest in the channel kind of like right out the gate, you know what I mean? Like do some research, look up like good mics that are affordable for you, you know, like the Blue Yeti is something that a lot of people like use early on and is definitely, it's a USB microphone, but it's still like solid quality, but it doesn't mean that you shan't, you know, look into other ones to upgrade at some point. Look into video editing software, you know, audio mastering software. Not that I like have a ton of that, but you know, just you really want to make sure your audio is like top notch, and you know, don't go into it willy-nilly. Like decide what your game plan is. Like what's your upload schedule? What's, you know, what kind of channel you're going to be? You're going to be straight creepypasta, true scary stories. You're going to maybe you'll read positive you know, positive stories, or do an ASMR channel, or, you know what I mean? Like shit that makes people feel good and that kind of thing. Just get a plan going. Get like, have someone like pay some, be sure you always ask permission for stories, obviously. But yeah, just make sure you got a plan going into it. Get someone to draw you an avatar, all that good stuff, and get your social media up and going. You know what I mean? Just like think of it as like a sort of like a business a little bit. You know what I mean? Obviously, you want to also do something that you think, even if like hypothetically a year from now you still have 0 subscribers, that you still just enjoy doing. I know that sounds kind of rough, but yeah. And then once you start to get things moving, you know, good titles, tags, videos, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. Think about collaborating with other people to kind of get your name out there, that kind of thing. And remember, just make the fart noise. I'll probably do that. Cherry says, speaking of which mic do you use? So I use an H4n Zoom handy recorder, which is kind of ill-advised for people starting out in recording, because especially for voiceover and narration, because it's more of like a field microphone. But I like it because I kind of just was familiar with it, related to helping people with like different short films and stuff as the sound guy. It was just one that I was familiar with. And it kind of gives like a stereophonic like ASMR vibe, you know what I mean? The mic that I'm talking into right now is my streaming mic, which is like an analog mic. It's an AKG C214. So that's more just like, this is specifically for streaming, but then there's a one right next to it that I can click and record and go kind of thing, which is sick. Which is sick. Which is so sick. Hummus giving you the walking toots. Yes, do be careful. Remember the predator noise. Maybe I'll just do a fart noise, I think. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Okay. Let me say, I still had the outro from last time with Mr. B. Bosta. Hope you guys had all enjoyed that video. Hope the Shudder advertisement went well. It's actually a really cool service. Not that I'm like obligated to say that or anything like that, but it does seem sweet. Just like, you know, it is cool in the fact that it's like the Netflix of horror stuff and all that kind of things. But hope that wasn't too intrusive. But I also hope that you showed some support to the Mr. B. Busta man. I know he would love to have you guys enjoy his content, and he puts out quite a bit. Cherry says, oh heck, that's interesting. Not a voiceover mic, but it has a great sound for your voice. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I almost feel like this AKG C214, if I used it with like a certain program, would probably sound more like a voiceover mic, like in the manner, I don't know exactly the terminology to use, like condenser mic or something of that nature. What do I do after the stream? So usually I go into Discord with friends. You can join this Discord. Maybe Jensen can link the sorry, my shoe squeaked there. Can link the Discord, but sometimes I'll be in there, sometimes I'll be in another friend's Discord just dicking around while I edit and stuff like that. But yeah, and eat cookies. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. If you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let's Read Official, and give and receive feedback from the community, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And join my Discord to interact with me and other listeners directly. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations for just $1 a month on Patreon, and maybe even pick up some Let's Read merch on Spreadshirt. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all these stories in long compilation form and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. Links in the bio. Thanks so much, friends, and remember... the Let's Breed Discord, that's perfect. Yeah, the Shudder one I thought was cool because it was actually like one that I feel like kind of goes with my content a lot more, and it's just cool, you know, just Netflix of horror. Fuck yeah, they have a lot of cool shit on there, especially like Creepshow and all that kind of stuff. But yas. But thank you, Cherry. DM me or find me somewhere to talk about future voiceovers. I would love to just do it as a fun project, a collaboration, and check out your content and all that good stuff and just discuss, you know what I mean? I'm always down to, actually it was funny, Slap Tam, which is touted to come out, our collaboration is touted to come out next week at some point related to paranormal stories. He actually came into one of the one of the live streams, and that's kind of how we organized a collab before as well. So it's funny how things work out that way, but I do appreciate other content creators coming in here and showing some love, and really all of you guys for being here again tonight for another amazing stream. We almost got to 1,000, but we'll get them next time. But as always, this audio will be edited and put out on Patreon first thing, $1 a month. Still contemplating advancing the Patreon to $5 a month to get some additional creepypasta, and I think that would obviously translate well over for members as well, because I think there's over 100 of you guys now, which is pretty badass. And yeah, just cool ass, dope ass shit, you know. I will yeah, this video will be out tomorrow, 7 p.m. Keep a look-see on at Let's Read Creepy on Twitter and at letsread.official on Instagram to keep up to date on whenever new stuff is happening, when I'm going to be streaming, all that good stuff. Slapped ham. Yes, I'm excited about that one. He got the audio to me. Sounds great. pretty stoked about it. And if you guys haven't already, yeah, go back and watch the Australian stories that are out now on the channel. Enjoy those while you relax and show B-Busta some love and subscribe to him if you can. And I think Mr. Jensen is streaming after this. If we want to do a little after party there, that would be sick for him. I know he would appreciate it. I don't actually know if he's streaming because I didn't actually read what he said in the chat, but I'm just going to assume we're going to be heading over to the after party there. God, whenever I do that, I start to sound like Andy from The Office, where everything just breaks into a fucking fucking British accent. Cockney, hard Cockney. All right. But love you guys. Thank you again for the opportunity to do some amazing stuff. There it is. There's Jensen's link on screen in the chat box. Not on screen, in the chat box. Go there, click on him, and you'll go to his channel. Sleep well to all of you guys. Much love and kisses all around. Mwah, 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 mwah. Mwah, 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 mwah. Mwah, 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 mwah. And peace out.